Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla cricket. Whoa. Guerrilla. Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act, but people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pasco, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. Would not give up the ghost when they left us all for dead. They decapitated us, but we just grew another head. Chairman Mao, Jamie Howe, Ho Chi Minh, Asif Din, Václav Havel, Graham Saville, No Surrender, Percy Fender, Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket.
Good morning everywhere in the world. It's game 23. India are back on. They're playing the men in orange. It's the Netherlands. And I was just about to go under for the full of the first bet, assuming that India were they won the toss. They're batting first.
Yep.
I mean, I saw that 10 minutes ago and it just didn't sink into my brain. I assumed they would bowl first. Just because, why not? Good chance to get your... I suppose they got a good chance this way around. Anyway, I'll talk about that in a second. I'm joined by the Thunder from Down Under. It's Messi Jez. I've got to find...
G'day.
And an Indo in Singapore.
Hello, folks.
How are we all doing? What do we reckon's going to happen today? It's going to be a massacre, isn't it? Although I am going to say, as per normal, I will be supporting the underdog just because it's more fun. I don't expect them to win, though.
Well, I'm rooting for them as far as my T-shirt's concerned. But to answer your question, Bear, I think there's a very good reason India's batting first. Over the last 3 months or so, it's been a very clear plan that in matches which are not expected to be down to the wire, India's been going in and practicing batting first because their record chasing is very good. Their record batting first is very bad.
Oh, okay.
So
basically,
every chance they get, they're going in and batting.
They're totally disrespecting the Netherlands and decided to bat first because they think they're going to whoop them.
Yeah, I think they're going to score 200.
Yeah, they probably will. I've gone over for the full of the first wicket, which I never do. Well, no, hardly ever. 29.5. It's quite large for an over and an under for the first wicket, but I do expect them to pile on the runs here. These two are
an unchanged team, I think.
Yeah, well, let me give you the teams, in fact. The Netherlands go in with Vikramjit Singh, Max O'Dowd, Bastelader, Colin Ackerman, Tom Cooper, Scott Edwards, Tim Pringle, Logan Van Beek, Shariz Ahmed, Fred Klassen and Paul Van Meekeren. India, as you said, unchanged. KL Rahul, Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Raksar Patel, Hardik Pandya, Dinesh Karthik, Ashwin, Shami, Bhuvi Kumar and Arshdeep Singh. Yeah, unchanged side. Great game on Sunday. I mean, they pulled themselves out of the fire, but that'll give them a lot of confidence when it going forward. I think I should play some jingles. We have India. We've got Rohit Sharma. We have a bowler, Fred Klassen. Where are you? Can't find him. There he is.
I beseech thee, lords of cricket, that I, your humble servant, Fred Klassen, gain protection from those who can clear the boundary.
Okay, that's a bit weird.
Where on earth did that come from?
I have no fucking idea. That's a mog. And this dude. And here we go. First ball. Fred Klassen over the wicket. Oh, a decent fuller length. Swinging in a little bit. Clipped by Rahul to mid wicket and there's no run.
That's exactly the kind of delivery that manages to get Rahul every time. So it was a really good ball to bowl first half.
Let's face it, it's a pretty good delivery to most batsmen, isn't it? In swinging,
Yeah,
very
but
full
Rahul's
length.
particularly susceptible because his bat's always at an angle. There's always a gap. It's just
Yeah,
the way he plays.
I must say, I think there's quite a few batsmen in T20 where that is the case. Some that aren't.
This is true.
That's the nature of the game, isn't it? Trying to open yourself up, score runs. Second ball is shoved wide. Could be a wide. Is a wide. Second ball of the game. Trying to push it across Rahul. Probably trying to tempt him with a drive, but it was just too wide.
Wide.
So I have to say this. There's a friend of mine, a close friend of mine, who does not like KL Rahul, right? So he just thinks he shouldn't be in the team. So he's got this thing that if, in India you have like 330 million gods, right?
Yeah.
Defending
is the offside. No run. Yeah. Carry on.
So they're like, if you're going to go into a job interview and you want all the luck in the world, pray to a picture of KL Rahul before you leave home.
Okay.
Because if you don't deserve the job, you're going to get it.
Yes.
Just like he does.
Oh,
wow.
Oh, that's a bit.
I mean, there are a fair few players around the world where people think he should be in a T20 side. That's nicely driven by KL Rahul, though. Beats the man at mid-off. He's a little bit wide. It's going to make its way down to the boundary just. Slowish outfield. First boundary of the day.
It's Nissan Shi. It's Nissan Shi.
He's like
I like Rahul.
Dawid Malan, Kane Williamson, all these players, they can be slow to start with, and this is the problem, isn't it, with T20? If they're slow to start with, then get themselves out, you say, why are they in the team? If they're slow to start with, get themselves in. And KL Rahul, at the end of an innings, he scores at like 200, doesn't he? If he's still there at the end.
This is friend of mine. I always have this argument with him. I'm perfectly happy having Rahul here.
Yeah,
I like him.
Lovely shot as well. Swings into the pads this time.
Beautiful.
Clipped out towards deep mid wicket. They'll come back for 2. Score moves on to 7. Off of 4 balls in the first over. So we're expecting a score of 200 probably here. As Rohit, what's Rohit's form like? I mean, he's done pretty much bugger all, has he? Recently?
No. He's Rohit's. I don't think he's 100% consistent at the opening spot, but he plays some great innings and manages to get decent runs at a decent pace. So he's had an okay past few months.
Okay.
His figures aren't great.
His figures don't look great. That one shuffles across his crease to KL Rahul, defends it out to cover, and there's no run. I mean, his golden spell was 2019-20, wasn't it, when he couldn't put a foot wrong a couple of years ago, scoring runs for fun.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's sort of diversified into Test cricket, if you like, and he's been playing really well there. But he's proving a really good captain. I have to say that I'm very impressed with so far with how he's managing the team. It's a very different style.
Yeah, again into the pads of KL Rahul, who just clips it once more to mid wicket, and ain't no run. Ends the first over, 7 for none. Over to you, Messi, who's with us this morning.
Leah's with us. She says, morning everyone. What a shit show this tournament is, with all the delays due to rain and playing consecutive games at the same venue. Yeah, there's some discussion around that. In some ways it's fairer if they're all from the same group because they've got the same sort of jeopardy. She also says India probably also think they can improve their net run rate more by batting first. That's a good point.
Absolutely.
And Ravi Nair says, hoping for a close one? Well, yeah, we can hope, but I don't have great confidence in it being a close one. I mean, South Africa just beat Afghanistan by 100 odd runs, and very, very comfortably, thanks to an amazing century.
Bangladesh, wasn't it? Not Afghanistan.
Sorry, Bangladesh.
Wrong group.
Thanks to an amazing century, though, from Relay Russo, who hit 109 from 56 balls.
Who's got a great jingle, made by me and the kids.
Oh God! Oh God!
Well, a man like Harry Potter is bowling, and his name is Tim Pringle.
He must. Is he now the only player with wearing glasses on the field?
Could be in this tournament. Driven up to long off by Rohit, gets himself off the mark.
Leach must have lost his sponsorship by now.
Well, yeah, but Leach doesn't play T20 either, does he?
No, I know.
But he'll never get rid of his glasses. Of course, we've got a series going to Pakistan, haven't we? At the end of this World Cup, beginning of December. Completely different side, presumably. Well, it will be, not presumably. Are we expecting any more rain here today, Messi?
No
more rain for the next few days.
Yeah, okay.
But for the next few days.
Okay, that's good. That is driven out to cover, and there's no rain. I also have to say, is the final at the MCG?
Yep.
Well, England haven't got hope of winning this fucking tournament, haven't they? We haven't won a game in T20 internationals at the MCG. 4 out of 4 we've lost at the MCG.
Well, my theory is that England aren't good on big grounds.
Well, I think a lot of teams aren't so great on big grounds, as that one is played up too long off and there's no run. I mean, so many teams are used to playing on small grounds that it's not surprising, really, is it? I mean, those hoiks over mid-wicket, you know, you can get 70-yard 6.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to get a 90-yard 6 on some of these bigger grounds. Hit hard, but straight at cover by Rohit, trying to give himself some room outside the off stump, leg stump, sorry, to kind of cut it away through the offside.
Yeah, I've got an article in tomorrow's Smaximum for our patrons all about that.
I mean, that should be an advantage for Australia, as that one's played up to mid-on and there's no run. I mean, presumably during the Big Bash, the boundaries are pretty much what they are now. Big boundaries in the Big Bash too?
Well, no, they're not, and that pisses me off. They bring them in quite a bit.
It's ridiculous how much they bring them in for the Big Bash, right?
Yeah. So I've actually been praising the ICC for having the big boundaries, which goes against the grain. Sally R56, Imagine, who you referred to as he the other day, there I noticed, says, so Bedis Clesi always goes for the underdog. Tomorrow should be fun then. Anyone but Australia rule always comes first, Sally, you know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leah says, I think the problem with Indian fans is the sheer number of excellent players deserving a spot in the team. Plenty of fuel for fiery discussions there. Certainly is.
Yeah, well, you got a lot. I mean, that's the thing. Nicely played by Rahul on the back foot, guides it down behind square on the offside, get himself 2 runs. I mean, this is in a preeminent tournament in the world, is the IPL, and there's some great players in the IPL. But you've only got 15 spots in a squad, so I imagine there was amongst the fans in India, there's a lot of arguing about who should actually be in the squad and who should actually be playing.
Plus, I think I think the younger fans don't have little respect for the understanding that you need some experience in big tournaments like this. So they always want.
Funny you should say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Indian cricket Twitter is just a horrible place to be, I find.
Right, well, I don't look at Twitter, so that's good. Big heave by Rahul, misses it completely, goes under his bat, I think, and through to the keeper, and there's no run. I mean, India could probably put 2 or 3 sides in this competition to be competitive, I'd have thought.
Well, you only have to look what they did in the Test series against Australia 2 years ago, when basically they ended up with the second 11 winning the series.
Australia
it was closer to the third 11. It was closer to the third 11 because half the side was net bowlers.
Yeah,
they weren't even in the squad.
That was a nadir of Australian cricket, though, wasn't it? That was after Sandpaper Gate. That is cut behind square by Rahul. Can't beat Gully.
Oh, that was significantly after Sandpaper Gate. I mean,
it was. Yeah, but Warner and Smith and Warner was still not in the side, though, weren't they?
No. Yeah, they were. They were back.
Oh, they were back.
They were back by then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, that was the series where India got 36 all out, right?
I know they drew. Didn't they draw that? They had a series after Sandpaper Gate. They drew, didn't they? And then they went over and won the next one.
The previous one, yes, that's right.
Which they should have won. That was right.
Yeah.
Now there's an appeal for OBW. I think that's going down the leg. Oh, he's giving it. No. I've reviewed
that.
It's not a bad shout, one, but I think it's going down.
I think he might be out.
Do you? I thought it was angled down.
I think he's out.
You should never have gone over, Bear.
No, I shouldn't have gone over. Fucking hell. I think that's going down.
That's
I think that was going middle stump, actually.
Do you? Well, we'll have a look at the replay. I thought
unless it's cut back, I've got it missing leg.
He bowled it from quite wide of the seat.
Middle and leg at worst.
Nah, that's going way down leg. I think Rohit sold him a pup.
Let's see the... No. Let's see the...
yeah.
Whatever that thing is.
I'm saying that's missing leg.
The crowd says.
Yeah.
And at worst,
Josh says it's going down too.
Yeah, and at worst, that's just shading leg stump. Should have reviewed it. If not only for my money, he didn't review. No.
Whoa! Because Rohit asked him not to.
Exactly.
I want this review. Thank you very much. Aubrey Nuevo's with us. Says, I wish India had put the Netherlands into bat much harder for the GPL this way. The GPL, which is opening on £271 and is open until 5 to 9, is it? Over there, Bear?
Yeah, it's open until 8:55. So you've got another, half an hour roughly. I noticed that you've gone in on 325.
Yep.
It's very hard, though.
Yeah.
200, 125. Yeah, that's not a bad bet, actually.
That's how I calculate it.
Nicely played. The new man is in, who has rediscovered some form at absolutely the right time. And also, of course, he has one of the finest jingles ever made.
The Indian says signals that they'll knock us on her ass. The pitches are prepared without a sign of grass. The score is mounting quickly and they've got a talking lead. We don't mind the challenge, it's a fee we don't need. He lets loose all his shots when the bowlers are fatigued. And we wait to find the match is dead and our doom is for rat. And Jamie Warner rides around and says, Colley's the cat, Colley's the cat. Colley's the cat.
Next ball, short at Rohit, and Rohit does what Rohit does and hits into the stand. That was a cracking shot. Nah,
he's not bad. No. He's not bad.
Sydney looks like a slightly smaller ground. It doesn't look as big as some of the other ones. So they'll enjoy this.
That's 84 metres.
Yeah, that's 84 metres, but that's way back in the stands, isn't it?
Yeah.
84 metres at the MCG square lands in someone's fucking hands at square leg. Nearly, anyway.
But let's put it this way: the SCG is a normal size ground.
Yes. The MCG is cavernous. I mean, when you look at it, it's just it's like a coliseum.
Yeah.
Have you been in there, Bear?
No, I've never been to the MCG.
Oh, you must. You really must.
It's huge.
It's amazing.
It really is huge. But I've seen quite a few matches. I was telling someone the other day, I've seen more matches at the SCG than any other ground except Eden Gardens. So,
is that right?
Yeah, for some reason or the other, but I really like SCG.
We have a change in the bowling as well. I should give him a jingle. Basta Leader is coming in to bowl. His first ball is just plonked square on the offside, and he'll get himself a single. He sounds like this. he was extraordinarily happy when he got that LBW. I still want to see Hawkeye of that.
Yeah, the ball
Yeah.
tracker. Yeah.
And, Rohit faces up and just plays that, clips it with a closed face
The
out
more-
to mid-wicket, no run.
The more I see it, the more I agree with you, Messi. I mean, it might just have missed the bag. For some reason, I thought it was coming back in.
Yeah, I mean, first opinions, I mean, I've done that quite a lot this summer, but I mean, when you look at the replay, I mean, he's bowling wide of the crease, pushing it down leg anyway. It seems to hit him in front of about leg stump. The angle seems to be taking it down. Obviously, Rohit wanted the review for himself as he crashes that one behind square on the offside.
Lovely shot.
Gets himself 4 more runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Just a little bit too
There are
wide.
two reviews in this tournament, right? Per inning.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the other thing as well, isn't it? You know, it's I think
Doesn't
The
make
COVID
sense.
one is gone. The extra COVID one is gone. Yeah.
No.
no,
'cause
you-
the second one is the extra COVID one in T20.
because I mean, 2 reviews in 20 overs is insane. Big swing, no ding from Rohit with absolutely no foot movement. It was in the channel outside off stump, and he just went to smash it through the offside, missed it completely, went through to the keeper, and there's no run. 23 for 1 after 3.4 overs. 23 wickets for Bas the leader, economy of 8.9 in his T20 international career. 28 matches, so he's played a few. Best of 3 for 19. I love the way everything in T20 is, you know, it's 30s and 3 wicket innings. Stuff like that. So pointless.
There's 4 overs, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's the leader in. Nice shot by Rohit, but can't beat cover. Driven firmly straight to Ackerman, who's fielding there. 5 off the over so far, 1 ball to go. Not a blazingly quick start here by India, it has to be said. I'm sure they won't mind. They'll accelerate. Kohli will be looking for a big score here. He's got the whole innings.
I think they'll back themselves to accelerate later. Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Down the track comes Rohit. Can't beat mid on with a miss-hit quake, really. Trying to hit it over the bowler and over mid on. Can only get it down to him, and it ends the 4th over 23 for 1. Slow start. Over to you, Messi.
Leah says India won the series after Sandpaper Gate with the second 11, then won the next series with the third 11. Or I'm
This is true.
remembering.
This is true. Yeah,
that's
yeah,
correct.
true.
Yeah, that was the
And
game.
2018 was the first time India beat Australia since 1947.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the
Mox-
game. Go on.
Mog says I'm slightly late to the party, but it's only India, so hello.
Hello.
G'day, Mog.
Yeah, good day, Mark. Yeah, that was the
You
series
drowned yet?
that Dave made us get up to cover the final test because we thought that India were going to win, and that was the game where we were talking about drizzle, like really light drizzle, stopping a whole day's play. That was pretty much the 5th day at Sydney in that series because India were going to win, and Australia didn't want to lose. So unlike the fucking 5th test in the previous series against England where there was a rainy spot underneath. Oh, that's a slower ball by Clarkson, who's back into the attack. Virat advances down the track and it just goes past his outside edge at measly 78 miles an hour. Cross seam delivery into the pitch. Could have caught an edge but wouldn't have carried to the keeper.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's the ideal way he wants to play. I mean, it made no sense, that shot.
Well, he's trying to be aggressive, isn't he? He's Virat. That one.
Yeah, that's
is
more
in
like it.
Yeah, exactly. Short wide outside the off stump. They've got a deep cover out there and cuts it out to him. He'll get a single. We'll have a change at the end of this over. God, that 4 overs has gone very quickly. Josh is going to come in for me. 40's going to come on for Messi. And Indo's going to stay there.
And I'm going to do my GPL picks, which are open for another 25 minutes.
Exactly. 271 quid in the pot. I presume everyone are going to pile in at the end of this one just so they can get an idea what India are going to score. But then I guess if they roll Netherlands, it could be tricky. That one is clipped out to the leg side boundary by Rohit. He'll get himself 2 runs. Moves on to 13 off 11. Yeah, the next series was when there was rain and there was that dodgy spot on the wicket that got through the goddamn covers, hadn't it? And then they went out with their hair dryers when
that's
they were
right,
playing
yeah.
England, and shouldn't have gone out and played. And of course, we got rolled very quickly. And everyone's going, "Why are you complaining?" Because it was cheating. Is that why?
A bit like Derek Underwood at the Oval in 19...
Yeah, but they were uncovered wickets in those days. And it's not like they are these days.
Selected. Did you see Josh Butler complaining about gamesmanship yesterday? Oh, the whining.
No, what was he saying? I didn't hear that. What was he saying? Oh, slower ball into the pads, attempted swing over the leg side by Rohit.
Rohit's timing is about as good as Finch's was yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, the MCG didn't look easy to bat on. I mean, England must have bowled pretty badly. I think Wood had it right, because, I mean, when they got it on after the 12th over, when they finally got that run out, it was missing. So there you go. Should have reviewed.
There you go. Yep. It's good to be reaffirmed in our rightness, though.
Well, Rohit's mishit that into the leg side. No, you fucking idiot. Rohit has gone to pull one into the leg side, got top edge, it's ballooned up. Fielder's got there in plenty of time. Caught it and then just spilled it. You cannot be doing that. That is just terrible at this level. Oh dear. 2 runs to Rohit to end the over. That is appalling. Gets one of these.
The pimps in the crib, ma. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot.
That was appalling. Oh well.
Oh well. See you later.
Change.
Fourthly, Tim Everingham is the next tweet.
Thanks very much, Messi. Much appreciated. Over to Josh.
Oh, you're wearing dungarees today, Josh.
I'm wearing dungarees that I made today.
Wow.
You can't quite see the weave at this angle, but it's a beautiful herringbone.
Is the budget tight in the Josh household?
It's actually not cheaper to make one's own clothes than to buy them, sadly. As we have a change, Van Meekeren he's coming back on, and is prodded back down the ground by Virat. No run.
I was told the best dungarees are made with old curtains. Apparently not. No?
This is my first, and so far it's my first of 1.5 pairs of dungarees that I've made. I have another in a sort of pinky beigey heavy duty canvas twill that I'm making for the allotment.
Lovely.
Kind of lovely, maybe.
And Meekeren in this time, jagging just in towards Virat's off stump. He works it away through the leg side. They come back for a well run 2. India.
Are you thinking of doing some painting and decorating, or is it a little bit of an affectation, maybe?
He's just told you he's made these designer dungarees. Come on, Cody.
The word designer, I should have picked up on.
I didn't say designer.
Herringbone. It's a herringbone.
Herringbone twill.
It's a herringbone twill. I wouldn't paint and decorate in these. I have taught in them. Van Meekeren in again over the wicket, and this time is just nudged off the thigh pad by Kohli to backward square for a cantered single. In fact, I'm not sure they even got up to a canter there.
What have you taught in them?
I've taught various seminars and lectures on literature. Although one of my students asked me where I got them the other day, which was I said I affected to hate to do the hipster thing of I'm afraid to tell you I made them myself. I was secretly, in fact, not even slightly secretly.
I hope she was pretty.
Van Meekeren in this time. It's spooned up towards the man on the 45. I don't think it quite carried. If he did, he was put down.
I think it was put down.
Rohit there, just sort of
Rohit's having a charmed life today.
It did carry, and it was another terrible drop.
Oh dear. It's the same guy, isn't it? It's Pringle again.
No, it dropped before him. It just dropped before him. He was falling back. Actually, trying to catch that. Yeah.
Didn't quite carry. In again to Rohit this time. Just lets the ball run off the face of the bat out towards deep backward point for a single. Nice shot there. He was in position to play something more full-blooded, but instead just, you'd call it running it down, but it was up at chest height, so Yeah, enterprising. Just take the single, keep the strike, and the scorecard rotating. One more in the over. India 32 for 1. Remaining in the 6th. As you were saying, not the most speedy of starts from India, but they'll back themselves from here, as this time it just keeps a little bit low on Virat, and the ball spoons out, sort of beats the bat, spoons out off the pad towards short fine leg for no run. Rohit back on strike. India after 6 are 32 for 1. What say our besotted fans on social media?
Well, Tim Evering says, Evening Gorilla, managed to get a last-minute ticket to today's double-header. South Africa looked primed for this game, whilst Bangladesh looked a little disappointing. Any run scored by India is met with copious amounts of applause. Great seat, though, and he posts a snapshot of where he is, right behind the bowler's arm.
So you're listening to us in the ground, Tim?
It seems that way.
How far behind are we? That's a question I have.
Mog, it has legitimately not stopped raining here, and for those who are unaware, Mog's in Melbourne. Since England lost, the very sky itself weeping at the results? No, it's just rain. Although I am looking at the same scene as Mog, albeit he's in Ormond and I'm in Burwood, and it's been absolutely pelting down all day. I will hand you back to the cricket.
Pringle on left arm round the wicket to Rohit, who pushes the ball out slowly along the ground to long off for a single. We've got, I think it's 5 men out, who are in the horseshoe you would expect from cover round to deep mid-wicket. Very much an in-out field, as you would want to have for a slow bowler in limited overs. Pringle again, left arm round. This time is belted out by Virat. Nicely stops, or at least enough of the pace taken off the ball by the man at orthodox extra cover, restricting them to a single.
A point that might already have been made, but rather the ball was very similar to Daniel Vittori, wouldn't you say?
Pringle this time is pushed out to extra by Rohit for no run. 1-1 dot so far. You'd have to say he'll take that, particularly having put down the catch. He's not looking particularly happy, but would you be wanting to churn up left arm pies to two of the best T20 batters?
Did you just see the average they showed? He's got an average of 24.5 against right-hand bats, 54.5 against left-hand bats.
This time Rohit sort of skews him, touch of outside edge there. It goes out over gully backward point, spoons away over towards the boundary. The batters get back for 2.
Rohit's completely off colour.
He was almost taking a backward point there, but just about beat him, and the ball span off. Pringle in
him
again.
A slight,
Left arm round and is just pushed out, beating the extra cover. It's fielded by the deep extra running in to restrict the batters. One more single.
I think you're doing a slight disservice, actually, to be fair, Josh. I think he's bowling pretty well.
Yeah, he is. I'm right. You're absolutely right. I'm being overly harsh on him. He's surprisingly well, surprisingly hard to get away. As this time Virat simply pushes him out towards long off again for a single. He is the kind of bowler that, especially with this field, the batters could just knock the singles out. They're there for the taking to the men on the boundary. There's plenty of gaps out there. But maybe he'd take 6 singles off and over. Anyway, that's the over ended. 38, 39 for 1, 38 for 1.
Yeah, I just checked his economy rate. He's 5.5 in T20 cricket. That's remarkable. I can't think if I've seen a lower one.
Do they distinguish between do they distinguish between the qualifiers and between the tournament performances? Those against?
Well, it's down as T20I, so whatever counts as a T20I on the database. It's all I can tell you, I think. One of the 2 tweets: Mog cheating, like say Matty Wade. Mog also Pringle that taking that catch looking even more like, and you'll have to go on our Twitter feed to see the image which has been posted. I'm afraid I don't know that character.
Change of bowling. The as yet unup-jingled bowler is worked by Virat out to backward square for a single. Bear, let's hear his jingle.
Van Beek, I know what you're bowling. It's a hard cricket ball, so don't hit me 'cause it hurts. Whoa.
Was that no doubt? As this time Rohit looks to belt the ball out. Wow, where on earth did that
He's mistiming everything.
It was sort of a touch of under edge, and somehow the ball skewed out towards kind of deep backward square, but he was looking to belt it through mid-wicket, or possibly even over mid-wicket. Another single. India 40 for 1, 2 balls into the 8th over. He's still getting the singles while failing to time the ball abysmally.
Yeah,
Rather failing abysmally to time.
The run rate is very low.
Van Beek again. This time Kohli is on the charge, pulls out of the stroke, instead just blocks it down into the ground for a quick single. He's already halfway down the wicket before he's made impact, so there's not really any risk there in taking on the fielder. We seem to have some messages in the chat. Are there anything I need to read? We're talking about the odds. The Netherlands are out to 9 to 1, which, as Bear was saying earlier, in a 2-horse race is pretty generous. You might not expect them to win, but you'd probably expect them to win more than 1 in 10 times from this position. Van Beek again. This time again, has he got hold of it completely? He absolutely has. It's gone a long way up in the air. It wasn't quite the optimal trajectory, but when it came down, it was a good 10-15 metres outside the rope, and at the point where it crossed the rope it was far too high. Even 4 fielders standing on each other's shoulders could not have got near that. A lovely shot, an 88 metre 6, and for something that he didn't. And this time Rohit simply goes down. He's looking to glide the ball off his down through leg slip. It's hit him on the pad and he's been given out. They're wondering whether or not to review. He has reviewed immediately. Was there a touch of bat on that?
From how quickly he reviewed, I would assume so, because he didn't even look at Virat. He just reviewed immediately.
Well, let's have the review jingle.
Better out than in, better in than out. Ah, better out than in, better in than out. In, out, shake it all about.
Glove.
Yeah, I think it's glove.
But even without Snicko, it's clearly deflecting off the glove into the pad.
Glove, or even the bottom of the bat, actually.
If it even hit the pad in the first place.
Yeah, I think it might be the bottom of the bat even.
Could well be. There's a very faint move,
it's the bat.
Shoulder of the bat onto glove.
Shoulder of the bat, yeah.
I think onto glove, possibly not even that. I'm not sure it's hit the pad at all. Now, does he get the runs?
Very poor decision.
Decision is cancelled. They don't get the runs that they might have taken, do they? I guess because they didn't. As this time, Rohit doesn't quite get hold of it. It goes out towards the deep backward square boundary, fielded on the bounce for a single. The Sky infographic is still showing a wicket off the 5th ball, which was not the case. But that was very, very definitely not out. 48 for 1 after 8. I know they...
Yeah, that's the end of the over, I think. I'll just go through 1 or 2 tweets. Joe T.O. referring to your dress sense, Josh. Good God, it's all gone Mario Brothers. That is very true. Tim Everingham, it says you're about a ball behind, but ABC, I think he means Foxtel before. We're 2 balls behind, and I can testify that, yes, I'm 1 ball behind big grid of cricket coverage, and we'll have to live with that when I come on for Ball by Ball. Imagine says, yeah, but now he has COVID. He finally caught something, replying to Mog. And Mog says, ha 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 ha. Think
That
I've
was
done
a
that justice.
surprisingly good tweet by Mog. We have another change of bowling as the as yet unjingled slow bowler, right arm over the wicket, is just played defensively out to gully for no run. Let's hear.
That's about the only description you can have, Josh.
Oh, Shahrazad, I know you can get me through the
Shariz with that floaty action. He's like a pound shot Paul Adams from his action, and is pushed out towards long on for a single. He's imagine a bit less frog and a bit more blender, and you've got Shariz there.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure he's spinning, so you're right. He's
No. I'm not calling him a spin bowler because that's not what he is.
For memory, Rashid Khan bowls little frog in a blender, doesn't he?
That's harsh. I think Rashid's action is elegant. Shari's in again. This time it's floated up a touch more and is struck very cleanly out towards the deep extra cover boundary. There's a lovely dive from the man out there. It's not. Who is that there? Out on the boundary. Saved 4 runs. It was the one that didn't spin out of the back of the hand rather than the one that didn't spin out of the front of the hand from Shari's, but was struck beautifully. A lovely dive. One hand picking up the sunglasses that fell off his head, the other going for the ball, and it was returned very well to restrict the batters 2-2. Lovely piece of work out there. 2 runs saved.
Was it Baz later out there?
I can't see. It's number 5. India 51 for 1, a third of the way through the 9th. Shari's again, another one that doesn't spin out of the front of the hand this time, and it's pushed back down the track, fielded by the bowler. Not quite cleanly, but there is no run. 2 balls remaining in this, the 9th.
I think he's trying to bowl leg spin from his hand action.
Yeah, he's the kind of... He is trying to impart revolutions onto the ball, and I suspect the ball is rotating. It's not moving off the pitch.
Well, Crick Info has it registered as a leg break bowler.
Yeah,
it's a leg break action.
Yeah.
But we've not this time. Oh, filthy! I could bowl that. It was one of those awful. In fact, I do on a regular basis. It was one of those awful full buggers, speared down left leg side, worked out towards deep backward square for a single. Mine tend to get punished.
But I bet you wouldn't get away with a single with Virat Kohli, which he's doing.
No, indeed, he's remarkably effective. His 5 balls have gone for 4 runs. He probably pushes it through a good deal quicker than I do as well. This time, not a bad ball, but dispensed by Rohit over deep mid wicket. 1 bounce, 2 bounces, and it's fielded by the very deep fielder. Just the 1 run taken.
Rohit looks quite pained with not being able to score runs off bowlers like that.
Again, it's gone a little bit more up in the air, and he's not quite got hold of it.
Scott, end of the 9th, we've just got one tweet here from Imagine saying, did you see Bangladesh were penalised 5 runs during South Africa's innings? The keeper was moving backwards when the bowler was coming in. I did not see that, but that's an interesting...
Yeah, they were penalised.
Interesting point. 5 runs seems quite harsh, but I suppose...
That's the changing the field while the bowler's in. The other one that they brought in relatively recently was fake fielding, so feinting a throw when you don't have the ball. I've seen happen a couple of times, one of which I've seen happen live.
Yes,
as
so
Deleda comes back and is worked out by Rohit no further than backward point, no run. I think I saw
53 9 or 9.1 over is absolutely ridiculous given the bowling attack.
Yeah, are they backing themselves to accelerate? I mean, it does make GPL quite a difficult proposition. Even if you back India to win, you've got to predict a score which could be anywhere between let's say 90 and where could they feasibly get to off 10 overs with 9 wickets down? I still think they could clear 200.
Yeah, they could.
The leader in, this time it's a long hop outside off and is simply paddled over backward point for 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Almost a very gentle table tennis shot there. Minimal effort from the batter. Doing enough to clear what remains of a slip cordon and bounce, bounce, bounce into the utterly unguarded third area for those 4 runs, picking up the scoring rate. The leader again. Are the Indian batters going to accelerate? He's hoiked a long way up in the air by Rohit, who's just done enough lateral movement through the ground to clear the fine leg boundary for 6 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Was it me, or did that look like it might have just gone straight up in the air?
Yeah. I think it was just the follow through that sort of took it a bit further down.
A long way up that went, only 73 metres to clear the boundary. If he'd got hold of it properly, it would have been into the top tier of the stands. What can he do this time? The leader in, this time is clubbed out towards the deep extra cover boundary by Rohit. It's fielded by the man in the deep. The batsman across complete a single. Virat is on strike for the last 2 balls of my commentary stint. This is all I'm doing this innings, I think. I'll be back for the back end, I think it is, of the second innings, where I shall be keeping Bear and others company.
I'm back to the front end of this.
2 balls remaining. The leader in to Virat. Just steadies himself. That regular action. It's fullish, it's outside off stump. It's stroked out towards the deep extra cover boundary, where it's fielded by Sharice, I think it was. The batters cross for the single. 65 for 1. 1 ball remaining in the 10th over. GPL is £280 with 3 minutes left. If you can predict what you get, there's a big pot to win, and a large proportion of what you put in will go into the pot, so by all means go for a big spread. Value to be had there today. What can they do off the last ball of this over? The leader in. Ooh, this time he bounces Rohit, who simply steps under it, and it's called a wide. Steps under it, ducks under it, sorry, excuse me.
Wide.
I wasn't convinced that that would be wided, but Rohit was sure enough that it would, that he just ducked under and refused to offer any kind of shot. Wouldn't mind seeing that again. The leader into bowl once again. He follows Rohit, who's moving towards the leg side. All he can do is work the ball out along the ground to deep mid-wicket for a single. Completes the 10th over. India are 67 for 1, and by the time I'm back we will know much more about what the Netherlands require theoretically to chase. I shall hand over first to Forthy to go through what social media comments we have, and then there will be a new team. Thank you all.
Thanks very much, Josh.
Thank you.
Super stuff. I think we're up to date on tweets, Messi. Unless you
Looks
can see
like
anything
it, yeah.
I can't. I think we are. I don't know if there's anything on YouTube. Sorry, I didn't have a look there.
There's a lot of discussion going on YouTube. John Wilkinson, Jay Solanke, Dan De Castro, welcome to all of you. One thing I was going to say, Forthy, in the first game, after 10 overs, South Africa were 91 for 1. The next 5 overs, they scored 80 runs, and then they fell in a heap. But what it was clear was that while De Kock did well, and Rene Russo did amazingly well, everybody else struggled. And it seems to me that this pitch is really hard work.
Yeah,
it's funny, isn't it? I don't know if Bear's got a point of view on this. Come in, Bear.
Well, this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, everyone's got to go bang, bang, bang. If it suits someone and they get a big score, that's all you really need in a T20. It takes one person to really blast it, and you get yourself a competitive score. Now, I think Netherlands will struggle to get 120 in reply. So, I mean, India will probably only need 160, but You never know, do you? I mean, if you give them a shout and end up with 140, they'll probably think they're in the game, and it puts pressure on yourself. This is a major competition. I think India are a bit unwise to practice batting first, because if it all goes wrong, they're going to look silly. They probably won't, let's be honest. But
yeah, it's a bit clever, isn't it? Yeah. Why would you do it? I think the problem with the Netherlands is when you have a look at their strike rates, there's no one who's above 132, and that is going to be a problem. A problem for them.
But you know, someone gets in and bangs it, can put pressure on them.
Yeah. For sure, and look, we've seen that with it was Maxwell, I think, was it Stoinis the other night?
Yeah,
Stoinis, was it? Yeah,
Stoinis.
It's odd. It's a bit kind of like feast or famine. People are either like Milan and Finch, who just the timing is all over the place, or someone just comes in and hits the sweet spot straight away. Not sure why that should be. It's unusual.
It is unusual, but that's nature of T20 cricket.
It is somewhat, isn't it? Yeah. Now, Bear, I'm going to have to apologise to anyone who's following it on different types of TV. I'm going to be about 10 seconds behind because the jerkiness factor is too much to deal with off my screen. So apologies for that. It's not too bad, but it's about 10 seconds.
Okay. Right.
Is that okay?
Well, yeah. We'll have to deal with it, won't we?
Yeah, look, it just seems more jerky than it was yesterday. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, the alternative is you do ball by ball.
No.
But look, I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go and see where we get to.
The problem is that we all go early.
Yeah, I know. Right. Yeah, we just have to exercise some discipline.
Difficult.
All right, so at the halfway stage, India is 67 for 1. Virat's on 14 off 16. Rohit Sharma's on 42 off 32. Pringle, who's bowled very well to date, he has just conceded 8 runs from his first 2 overs. He's in for the start of the 11th over. Virat takes guard, and that is flicked through the leg side. It'll probably just be a single. The man comes in off the boundary, and Rohit moves to 43, just a single there. Was Rohit always this shape? I don't remember him being quite.
Yeah, he's always been in shape.
It really is. I mean, just when you see him next to Virat Kohli, in comes Pringle again. He comes down the wicket, comes Kohli, but straight, like a traceable, it was straight to the man at cover, and there is no run because he hit it so bloody hard. Got ball.
Yeah, Rohit's always had a problem with the gi. As far as I
Pringle in again, and this time Virat has lofted the ball, but puts a little bit of check on it down to the man at long off, and they come through for the single. So Pringle continuing his excellent spell. 1.1 so far in this over.
You get the feeling that Virat thinks it's time to shit or get off the pot, don't you?
You do think that, and I think he's correct.
Pringle
in again. Oh, that's way down the leg side, and that's hoiked down to long leg by Rohit for 4 of these.
Yeah, that was a poor ball. Angling down leg side, easy for someone like Rohit.
Yeah, the classic shot. He didn't need to be one of the best batsmen in the world to hit it. He is, and he managed to middle that one all the way. Pringle, described as a cross between Daniel Vettori and Harry Potter. Bowls a little bit like Daniel Vettori as well. In again, and Rohit turns that into a full toss by advancing down the wickets and smashes it wide of the man at point, and it's gone for another 4 of these.
Oh, yeah, it's gone for 4, and that makes...
Don't stop, just 'cause you got to 50. Don't stop, treat it as a start. You can use this to get a better score. The first 50's done, the first 50's done.
As you heard at the jingle there, Rohit moves on to 51. 1 ball of the last of this over. Pringle over deck. The advances down the wicket again. Rohit manages to clip it through the leg side. They'll settle for 1, so Rohit stays on strike. He's on 52 off 36. India 78 for 1 at the end of the 11th.
And we don't seem to be getting any new tweets. Has everybody gone to sleep? I can tell you that the GPL closed at £281 with, that must be about 20 entries or so there.
20 dead on, yeah.
Yeah.
Ranging from 263 to 363.
Oh, I wonder who had those.
Yeah, I wonder.
I wonder.
They're going nowhere fast here, India, aren't they? 78-1 after 11. I mean,
there were signs of visible acceleration in the last over, which went for 11 in the end. So we shall see. We shall see. Don't rule India out just yet.
No, of course not.
Indeed not. I wasn't suggesting you were for one moment. It's Fred Klaassen who looks to be the man on for bowl. He went for just 12 in his first 2 overs, so very respectable figures. As we see the Indian fans at the SCG bathed in late afternoon sunshine, early evening sunshine. It's almost certainly a sellout there. Klaassen, left arm over, an advancing row hit, hits it down to point. There's a little moment of hesitation, but he sees Virat barreling towards him, and in the end they get through without any difficulty. The score moves on to 79 for 1.
He's managed to move on, hasn't he, Rohit, with some pretty friendly bowling.
Yeah.
That's probably put him in the right place.
Yeah, it looks like you just have to sweat it out for the first few overs, which you don't usually get that luxury if you're not middling it. And Rohit's beginning to middle it now, but you look like a bit of a fool if you get out for 20 off 30. 1 leg by. That was in fact a leg by. So Klaassen in again. And it's the Virat this time, left arm well wide of the return crease. He bowls left arm round the wicket and they hurry through for a single.
Moggs responded to the prompt. He says Bradmans. Did you get this? Well, he didn't quite say that. You know what he said.
I know exactly what he said.
Fred Klaassen. They often have these kind of rather old-fashioned names like Patrick and Edmund and Winston. So here's a Frederick bowling at the moment, and that one's gone out through to deep square leg, and they'll canter through for a single. So far so good for Frederick Klaassen in this over. It's just gone for 3 so far.
It has to be said that, barring the drops, which were absolutely horrific. Well, there's only 1 drop, I suppose, but that was a poor drop, and it was a Rohit as well.
Yeah, it was poor.
They fielded pretty well in the
Klaassen. They have, yeah. Klaassen full and wide, which is always a good ball in T20, but Virat's managed to get it away for 2 down through the offside. So he moves on to 18 off 20 and beginning to show signs of his form from a few days ago.
I'm just trying to think, who have the Netherlands got that bats, actually? They've got a couple of...
They've got Tom Cooper, they've got Max O'Dowd, and they've got Tim van der Guurten, and also Roelof van der Merwe. Probably their 4 best batsmen.
Okay.
That one's knocked down to mid-off, and that's a single to Rohit. He moves on to 53. I think that's not quite the end of the over. Still got 1 ball to go. India progressing a little, 84 for 1, but not yet full acceleration.
Yeah, I've just seen that ball, so I'm waiting for you to...
Okay.
It's a goodie.
We're seeing an Indian wave. Left arm over. Klaassen in for the last ball of the over, and that's Hoy. It's by Rohit. And he's out.
Yes.
So Ackerman takes the ball. Thank you very much for your restraints there. I appreciate it there.
That's okay.
So that's Rohit has gone for 53.
Fuck off! Just fuck off!
Well, that's a bit of a problem for India, isn't it?
What it is, I mean, who comes in next?
Let's have a quick look.
Sky should be.
Oh
in
yeah,
next,
of course.
isn't
So he's a pretty. Yes, it will be.
Pretty
Sky.
decent.
Pretty decent, yeah.
Surya Kumar, Surya. Now I know the others might have let you down. It's not too late to play Surya now. Surya Kumar, you're down.
Now, do you think they got? All these international players together because to do those silly adverts that are between, or do you think they're computer? I can't quite figure out whether they're computer generated because they look like they could be computer generated.
I think quite often they're not in the same studio on the same day.
No, and presumably it's just up against a green screen because they all seem to be at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, they're what's the word? Well, anyway, they're continuing with resuming. That'll do. It's as good a verb as any. Suryakama Yadav is at the crease. And first ball from Pringle is lofted, one bounce for 4 straight over the umpire's head from Virat.
Yeah,
There's
he's
not one
definitely
more for
decided
me.
to
I
put the
must
foot
have
down.
2 or 3. I need 4.
Yeah, he decided it's time to go, which is sensible. I mean,
Yeah,
you've got Hardick in next.
I think
up
so.
with him.
His form is such that he really trusts himself to be super aggressive from here on in. I mean, there's a chance it may not come off and he might not middle one, but his confidence, you can see it coursing through his veins as a look through round the field, settles onto his bat. Pringle left arm orthodox around the wicket. Spins it from hand to hand with a slightly ridiculous haircut that's doing the rounds at the moment. Sam Curran's got it, and they just quite happy just to knock it down on the offside. Virat looks a little bit frustrated with himself there. They come through for the single.
Yeah, as you say, maybe it's not that as easy as you think it would be to bat.
Yeah, I mean, from here on in, Netherlands will be doing incredibly well to pull this match out of the fire. But you know, as we saw yesterday, shocks can happen. I don't know. Would it count as a shock yesterday? The Ireland defeating?
Yeah, totally.
I think it probably does. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of.
They are a test playing nation.
Yeah, well, they're both test playing nations. Ireland don't
yes.
play a lot. But I mean, it'd be tempered a little bit by it was lost on DLS and by 5 runs. I mean, that'll hurt as much as anything, I think.
For sure. And I must apologise again for the weather in Melbourne right now. There's,
Yes,
the gods are
entirely your
against
fault.
everybody. It is indeed. And that one was possibly the googly. Certainly it came straight on, but wasn't any difficulty for Surya to read it, and he came through for the single pushed out on the offside. Don't know whether you thought that was a wrong one there.
Nah, I don't think so. I don't know
Just
if Pringle can bowl one.
Possibly not. Natural deviation, maybe. That one's just knocked down by Virat to the man at long off. Oh, they come back for 2, and they had to hurry, but I'm pretty sure he's easily home. So that was a very well taken 2.
Yeah,
Virat.
I think he took the bails off with his arm, didn't he, before the ball had arrived. That's what it looked like. He could have been run out. Yeah, that's a nasty haircut he's got, isn't he? Harry Potter with a skinned side and a mullet.
Sam Curran's got the same one. That's floated a little wider and a little more loftily by Pringle, and it's hit down to the man at long off. They come back for another single. So Pringle has got 1 ball of his spell to go, and he's acquitted himself well. He's on number 28. Can he finish well off this last ball?
Is everybody who wears glasses accused of looking like Harry Potter?
Well,
not everyone.
Not everyone, but I mean, it depends on the glasses you wear, doesn't it? I mean, he's got the he's got the round owl-like ones, which you know.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
In for the last ball of the over. Oh, and that induces a false shot from Surya, who. There's an overthrow as well. So a moral victory for the bowler goes for 2 runs to Surya there. He moves on to 3. India 95-2 at the end of the 13th.
Yeah,
Diana Patterson's with us, and she says not asleep, but not super excited by this cricket at 2:01 a.m.
Oh God!
Must be getting cold up there too, Diana. You're up in Canada, aren't you?
I don't know. It's probably, if it's anything like England, it's about 20 degrees due to climate change.
That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mog says we're dressing up at work for Halloween tomorrow. I was all keen to engage with the process until I was specifically told I couldn't bring weapons.
No.
Were you the only one told that, Mog?
Yeah.
I think that's very
I think that's evil.
Very nice indeed. It looks like it's going to be. Where's my information?
It's Van Meekeren.
Van Meekeren. So Paul Van Meekeren. He's a very good bowler in this form of cricket. He's got a sub-7 economy rate. He's gone for 13. He's got a wicket as well off his first 2 overs. He comes in and is smashed, but not quite timed by Virat at the man on the leg side boundary. 10 yards in, so they only come through for 1.
Well, even if they go 10 and over from here, they're going to only end up on about 160, aren't they? So,
yeah. To be fair, it will probably be enough, but it doesn't augur particularly well for the rest of the competition.
No, they're taking it a bit lightly.
Who is the favourite from here? I'm not sure.
India still, I reckon. Then England.
I don't know if England will be now.
I don't think they are now, but you never know. If teams have lost to a minnow and gone on to win competitions, it can happen. Okay, pause here. Van Meekeren comes in for second ball of the over, and that is lofted. Has it gone all the way? Yes, it has. Or was it one bounce?
No, it's one bounce just inside.
One bounce for four. One bounce for four of these.
I mean, everyone knows my big belief that I don't believe you can go through a tournament unbeaten. Even the best sides lose. So I'm happy that you've got to lose a game, and you're better off losing it early. Blah blah blah.
Yes, well, indeed. Germany famously lost to Hungary in 1954, 8-3 in their group game, and they went on to beat them in the final. So there you are. That's a very big turnaround.
Yep.
New Zealand are the second favourites with the bookies, by the way.
Are they? Okay. India favourites. In comes Van Meekeren again, full and wide, just wide of the man at cover, and that will go through for another four of these.
I mean, on current form, I'd have New Zealand as favourites from the games that I've seen at the moment.
Yeah, I think that's a fair call. Maybe they've peaked too early. Who knows, in T20 cricket, anything can happen in the next half hour, in the next few days.
If they end up with Australia in the final, they're bound to lose.
Of course. Australia just, it's a bit like Germany, isn't it? Australia just win finals. They do have an unpleasant habit of doing it.
Yeah, they do.
Well, the fact is...
Sorry, Messi. Sorry, Messi.
No, I was going to say New Zealand and India, of course, are the only ones who haven't dropped any points at this stage.
Van Meekeren tucks her up with a ball that rises off a good length. That's a good bit of pace there. Only 83, but it looked a bit quicker. And it's a dot ball, which is very welcome for the Netherlands at this stage.
Well, you could argue that New Zealand dropped a point. They only got one yesterday for a tied game, which does throw the group open. If they'd have won that game, they'd have been in top spot. But having only got one point,
sorry, that's right. Yeah.
Should I be saying Surya or Yadav or something else entirely for this guy?
Sky.
What? Sky.
Sky? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he's known as.
Well, I should call him Sky from here on in. Sky. Settles over his back.
Sorry.
It's okay. And that's played out to the sweeper on the offside boundary, and they come through for one run. Let's hear from Mog.
Yeah, Mog through the deluge says, yeah, I also blame Forthy for the rain.
Bloody hell, everyone fucking blames you for everything around here.
No. Well, you invited it.
That's true. You're absolutely right. Got one more ball of Van Meekeren as we have a look over the beautiful city of Sydney. Not quite as beautiful as Melbourne, but still nice in its own way, I suppose.
And Leah says, call me Harry Potter from behind her glasses, and I will come over there and go witch all over your ass.
They run a quick single off the last. Run a quick single off the last ball of the over, and that is the end of the 14th. Van Meekeren finishes on 1 for 24 off 3, and Virat's on 29, and Sky, I just lost him. He's on 12.
Sorry, I was at the end of the over and you weren't.
Yes, I know.
Only one more over of this.
Only one more over of this hell to get through.
Ravi Naya says, if England miss out, I want the Kiwis to win. So it'll probably be an Australia-India final. And Mog says, play my Van Meekeren jingle.
Play your Van Meekeren jingle?
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find it. Here we go, Paul Van Meekeren. Yeah, I forgot to play it earlier. Gregorian chanting.
Good one, Mog.
Very good. Gramogian chanting. Looks like it's Van Beek to come on to bowl. Let's just quickly get him up here. Where's Van Beek?
Only into his second over.
And he starts the 15th over. He went for 10 off the first, and that one's played down through square leg, and they've come through for a single.
Interesting. See what? So if they go 10 over here, they get what's 167.
Yeah, which will be enough, no doubt. But it's not.
I think they'll get more than that. I reckon they'll end up on 175.
As we see the men in orange moving their counters around the green outfield. Quite a nice aesthetic sight always when Holland take the field in any sport. India, since they've settled on this sky blue and orange kit, complementing it rather well, I might say. It's rather nice on the eye. Van Beek again. Oh, and he completely misses that one, Sky. Played in, tried to whip it through the leg side. Has a little bit of a grin about it now, but it's a dot ball. Done by Van Beek.
Moggs had a complete change of moods. He's normally so self-deprecating. He said, uncharacteristically, I'm reasonably proud of that jingle.
So you should be. Wonder how many jingles in aggregate Mogg has done over the years. Maybe he knows himself.
At least 2,000, he reckons. I mean, a whole lot of them haven't actually appeared anywhere, but yeah.
And that is swept, not quite slog swept, over the square leg boundary for 4 more of these.
Now my innings going, great guns, I hit the ball, 4 runs, I hit the ball and it went for 4 runs.
That was Rohit and Virat. They've definitely got the memo, which they've probably written themselves, and are accelerating appropriately as we see a Mexican wave from the Indians in the Australian stands. What a multinational world it is these days. And Van Beek is organising his field. He's got 2 men, one at cow and one at long on rather, on the boundary. He's got 2 men. He's got 4 men patrolling the leg side boundary now. And rather perversely pushes it wide of off stump, where it's played directly to the only man on the offside, sweeping on the offside, and they come through for a single.
Brian 001 is with us. It says, morning, pissing rain and grey in Northampton. Got the fire going to warm up. India should flog these Dutchmen, but India do seem to be fanning her apart. Well, I'm glad to hear you're not having to drive buses this morning, Brian. Must be a nice change. And he's sent us a picture of his nice fire warming up in his lounge room.
Very nice. Van Beek hits that straight to the man at long off, and I do believe there is no run. The score predictor, for what it's worth, probably very little, has got India to score 180.
With 1 ball to spare, Jack arrives.
In the nick
He's a busy boy.
Otherwise he would have got a real reprimand from the man in charge there.
Well, no, he
last ball of our stint together, and 2 of us already know what's happened, but I'm going to tell the rest of you. Can't see TV. Van Beek bowls it short, not a great ball, and that is hoiked and fielded well on the boundary, and tag team manages to get it back in. They've probably come back for 3, or maybe only 2. In fact, only 2. Perhaps they should have got 3. Van Beek finishes 0 for 18 off his 2. India 114 for 2 at the end of the 15th. Virat on 32 and Sky on 17. He's going well. I'll see you later.
And there's just one tweet from Mogg for you.
It's me, isn't it? Someone might want to stay on because Mpendolo has not turned up. So do you want to stay on and do tweets?
Oh, I'll hang in. Okay.
All right, cool. If she turns up, I'll let you know.
Moggs retweeted a tweet about Stephen Smith doing a YouTube thing on visualization, and he just says spew. And he also says it's easy to rack up the jingle numbers when you do them for the UAE and the Oman, etc. In fact, there's a whole lot of them you did that didn't even get played. I feel very guilty about that. Jack,
you all right, mate?
You all right? Do you know what's going on? You've been keeping an eye on it?
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay. Slow start from India, eh?
Yeah, it was very ponderous.
Very ponderous. I presume they're going to win.
Yeah, I mean, even if you make that presumption, you have to go through the motions.
Well, that's what I'd have thought. Yeah, exactly. I mean, run rate 7.6 on these boys is pretty poor.
Yeah, picking it up a little bit, aren't they? They'll probably get 60 off the last 5 and make things right. First delivery from the leader is driven over extra cover. I think it might plug and be stopped. No, it's fallen between 2,
3.
3 Dutch fielders, and it sort of bounces and then releases. It's a pitch and release from golf. 4 runs.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, got away with that, didn't he? A lot of these pictures are plugging. Did you see? You see much of the tournament so far? I haven't seen you on.
I haven't been. I've watched quite a lot, but I've not. It's an awkward time.
Yeah, you say that. Funny enough.
Yeah.
It's not great. I was up at 4 in the morning yesterday.
It's not even a good
pleasant
time for taking half days, to be honest.
No, I can imagine. Well, yeah.
Here's the leader again, full, aiming for the Yorker. It's driven through extra cover. Fielder at short extra, probably should have stopped it. Doesn't, and it will run away to the fence for 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I put a cheeky 5 on Holland at 8 to 1.
Sorry to break in, but Bear, the website is actually playing highlights and not the live feed.
No, it's playing the highlights. It's playing. It shouldn't be. It's not playing the highlights. It's playing the live feed because I can see it from here.
Well, it better be.
Oh,
this is some of our finest work.
Yeah.
Here's the leader.
It's
bowled 2 balls, but unlucky to be hit for 2 fours. Third delivery. Drags his length back a little bit, aims in at middle stump. And Surya Kumar Yadav goes inside out to drive through the covers for a single. Moves up to 26 from 12 balls. Playing a different game to the rest of the Indian lineup.
Let me just check that for you, Messi. But everything seems to be set up correctly from here.
Pretty good crowd in at the SCG. So we get the zoomed out angle of the Don Bradman stand. Virat Kohli facing up, 32 from 30 for him. And he whips one over the leg side. 1 bounce, 2 bounce, 3 bounce. It runs into the fence just backward of square for another 4.
Another one, blanky.
1, 2, 3, 4. 4.
It's kind of one thing nor the other from Baz the leader here, isn't it? It's not full enough to find the block hole, but not short enough to
trouble them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was angling down leg side as well.
Here he comes again, wide off stump this time, and he gets one to grub along the floor. Big swish from Virat Kohli, who kneels down, gestures and laughs about how that kept low. Will be a dot ball.
Yeah, he's starting to speed up. Sky's come in, and yeah, as you say, he's playing a different game to everyone else. But he's there as a finisher. Hardick's in next as well. He can bang it. Although he didn't. Did you see the Pakistan-India game?
Yeah, I did watch that. Yeah,
that was classic, man.
That was a great cricket match.
Yeah, it was. Best game of the tournament so far, I think.
I reckon so. Here's the leader to finish off short, and Virat tracks him, smacks it through mid-wicket on the front foot pull, but finds the man, so it'll just be a single to round off the over. India up to 128 for 2 with 4 overs to go.
Let's see. Mog says there were about 11,000 at the ground for the Ireland win yesterday, by the way. It's clearly India the draw card. I mean, look at this. That ground must be close to full, I reckon.
Yeah, I mean, India get crowds wherever they go in the world, don't they? There's a massive Indian diaspora, and they always want to see their teams playing. And they travel as well.
They're expecting 90,000 at the MCG next on Saturday week for the game against Zimbabwe, which is amazing.
Yeah,
pretty good day out if you're a Zimbabwe player,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably haven't played in front of 90,000 people in your life cumulative.
Yeah.
Like it's
There's about 200 Zimbabwe supporters have been following around the tournament.
Here comes Fred Clarkson, fires one down the leg side for a wide.
Yeah, they had a little following in Hobart. They were all dressed up in their overcoats and shit in the qualifying rounds. And they are our chosen team, actually, Zimbabwe.
Are they?
Yeah, well, we kind of followed them. They were the games that were on 9 o'clock that we could be bothered to do. So we did all 3 of their qualifying games.
Clarkson in, Kohli spoons one up in the air, but it floats tantalisingly over the head of mid-off, and the Indians will come through for a couple of runs.
And we're covering them again today. We covered them the other day as well. So they're our chosen team, weirdly. They've done all right, actually.
They're all right. They're not too bad a team, are they?
No.
I think they chose us rather than us choosing them.
Well, possibly.
Clarkson in once more, driven up in the air by Kohli. Will this one be caught? No. Again, he loops it over the fielder, and there's a little bit more in this one, so it runs away to the rope at long off for 4 runs.
Yeah, Raza seems to be their main man in the middle order. If he gets going, he can be quite destructive.
Yeah. They're not quite a one-man team.
No,
they have got one man who's a lot better than everyone else.
Well, exactly. He does all their bowling as well. He gets them a fair few wickets too. As you say, there are a couple of other players as well. Blessing's pretty good. Although was he the one who was injured in a rain-affected match the other day?
I'm not sure. That is one I didn't
No,
see.
he wasn't. I'm trying to remember who it was though. I can't remember.
Is he out of the tournament now, that guy, whoever got injured that day?
I don't know.
In comes Clarkson again, driven over extra cover. That is an amazing shot. It's a 6 driven on the front foot by Kohli. Over extra cover. Like a tracer bullet.
Indeed. But he's not going to get that
height,
jingle.
yeah.
They certainly are speeding up now, aren't they? Crikey.
I think he's back.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think that innings against Pakistan the other day, he got that supposed ton again. Was it a warm-up game, wasn't it, after his first ton in 3 years or whatever it was? But taking him home against Pakistan the other day would have,
Yeah, the 100 was in a dead rubber in the Asia Cup against Bangladesh, I think.
Afghanistan, but what's the difference?
Afghanistan, sorry. Yeah.
Well, Clarkson in. Another drive from Kohli on the floor this time. Finds a man on the rope, and it will be a single. He's a little bit frustrated with himself. Maybe thought that one was there to hit again. In fact, he slams his bat into his pad. That's his 50.
Yeah, it is 50.
Yeah,
Give him a
he's a little frustrated that they didn't pick up a boundary.
50, 50, 50, pretty nifty on a bowler's pitch.
142 for 2 now, India, and they really are starting to motor. Could be some punishment coming up for the Dutch bowlers off the last 20 balls of this innings.
Yeah. Kind of looks that way. Need to take a wicket or two just to slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you get Virat off strike, and you've got Surya Kumar Yadav, who goes down on one knee and sweeps up in the air. Good piece of fielding in the end by the man running in off the boundary, who sort of palms it back in on the half volley, and they'll come through for just a single.
Just a single, should have been 2.
Maybe a bit ball watching.
Yeah, probably. I thought they got that all the way to start with.
It did look, it was one of those deceptive ones, wasn't it? The
Yeah.
camera angle. It looked like it was going to float about 30 rows back and then died.
Been enjoying the big boundaries in Australia.
It makes for a slightly different game. Virat Kohli down, the pitch drives. Holland have pushed the man at mid-off back to long off. So they pick it up and throw it back in. Virat gestures that he wants some water, and they pick up a single, 144 for 2.
Over to you, Messi.
Venkatesh says, did you hear about the budding rivalry that is Zimbabwe and Pakistan? I wasn't aware of that.
Well, that's our second game today, isn't it? Pakistan versus Zimbabwe.
Yep. And Leah says, now that Elon Musk is taking over Twitter, I guess it's time to find an alternative, as this site will turn into an absolute cesspool. But as she says, as if it wasn't one already.
I was going to say.
How about join Mastodon? Yeah, I don't know, but I was thinking that today it could very quickly deteriorate into something we don't want to be part of.
Well, they'll probably let Trump back, won't he, which will be a disaster. But as you say, it is already a disaster. And he'll end up... Well, they might end up getting sued a lot if some weird shit happens.
That'd be quite funny, wouldn't it, really?
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants it, really.
No, I definitely don't think he wants it. Which is why it's so funny that
Yeah,
they've
well,
had to...
I mean, if I were him, I'd just pay the $1 billion to get it out if I'm worth 230 odd, if I didn't really want it.
Van Beek is the changer bowler for Holland, bowling round the wickets to the 2 right-handers to try and create some kind of unusual angle. Goes full first ball, it's knocked out towards deep square leg, and they come through for 1.
Yeah, Elon Musk, Twitter. He's a nutter. Have you ever seen any of that program on him? On This is Elon. I caught a little bit of it. Parents having a dig at him. I'm pretty much having a dig at him.
I can't imagine anything worse.
No, I
than watching
know.
a
That's why
programme
I just
about
caught
Elon Musk.
5 minutes of it. It was just quite interesting.
Full again to Surya Kumar Yadav, who plays a very elegant looking shot down to long on, and they come back for 2. That's great running for Virat Kohli. He hit that straight to the fielder on the fence. They've managed to sneak 2 using the long boundaries well there. The 2 Indian batters.
Yeah, these aren't the longest boundaries. I mean, there was a 6 that was 76 metres, which is pretty short. Sort of normal type standard. Rowe hit earlier down sort of behind square on one of the sides. It's the MCG that's the big one. Perth's pretty big as well, isn't it? Square, but it's a weird shaped ground. It's very oval. Presumably that's for the AFL. Yeah.
It's not a lot more narrow than the MCG, but it is a bit. But it's the same length as the MCG.
Nice day in Sydney. Makes a change after all that rain.
Well, it was pissing down early this morning.
And I presume the weather in Perth this afternoon is okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Here comes Van Beek again, down on one knee. Surya Kumar Yadav plays the lap and it will run away to the fence. Oh no! A man has dived and he's stopped out. His trousers have come down. Fred Clarkson's trousers are down. He's whipped them back up quick as you like. The Indians are through for 2.
Nice pair of black boxers underneath there.
He's got his sports pants on. Good stop. Good stop. And we got a little bit of a bonus there, didn't we?
Yeah. I'd love it if one day that happened and there's a man wearing a thong.
Yeah, they're a bit dull, his Sundays, weren't they?
Classed in again, and he fire spears one in. It's a good Yorker. He saw Kohli coming and managed to fire it in at his toes. Only a single. Quite good running from India to pick up a 1 there. Ball before was only a single, to correct myself. I think Surya Kumar Yadav thought he'd hit it for 4.
Yeah, ball watching again.
Yeah, he did. He was just watching the ball.
That was a good shot.
And then probably transfixed by Clarson's pants as well. Forgot to come back for the second run. As Van Beek come through. It's a good over so far, just 4 or 5 from it. As Surya Kumar Yadav goes down the ground and ruins things somewhat by hitting a 1 bounce 4.
It does manage to get it to places where, I mean, it's very strong, wrists and.
I mean, I don't even really know what shot that is. He's played it with all his weight on the back foot. I think he's trying to hit it over extra cover, but it comes sort of off the inside edge. Not the inside edge, but the inside half of the bat.
Yeah, but to actually hit it straight as well from there, not drag it, is quite something.
It's certainly an unusual technique. Drifts onto his pad, does Van Beek, to finish the over, but gets away with 1, I think you'd say. It's just steered down to fine leg for a single. So I think that means it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 off the over, which isn't too bad, I think, if you're in the Netherlands.
No, exactly. And Sky, 35 or 17, he's really putting his foot down. 2 overs to go.
Yeah.
154.
Leah says if Elon implements just a quarter of the stuff he's promised, this site will get banned in Germany as it had violated a ton of laws. I suspect that will be a problem around the world.
Well, that will be a problem around the world, and therefore his total free speech nonsense will force him not to do that. I mean, that's basically what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then he'll shit his pants and go, how am I going to make money out of this site? Because has it ever made money? Twitter's never really made any money, has it? I mean, how the fuck it's worth 44 billion? I don't know. As a business, it's a pretty shit one.
Well, I don't understand where they get any income, because I never see any advertising on it at all.
No, I guess they have sponsored tweets that people do get. I mean, the thing is, I never look at a normal timeline. I only ever look at mentions to us, so probably that's why.
Yeah, I think about every 5th tweet's an ad.
Yeah, I'd imagine so, but as I said, I never really look at it.
Maybe my ad blocker blocks them as well.
It might be that. They do quite a good job of not making it clear that it's an ad. The bit that tells you it's a promoted tweet is small.
Tiny.
Van Meekeren comes in and aborts his run up at the last second. Got very small eyes, Van Meekeren.
Yeah, I mean...
Go with Trembow's mouth. Can we find a small nose to go with it and have a tiny face?
We've got a graphic telling us how good Kohli is on the screen.
Well, we all know he's very good. Best average in the T20 World Cup, 89. That's pretty good.
That isn't too bad.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Who is it? Someone's only got an average of 450 against some team or something.
Van Meekeren in, driven over extra cover by Surya Kumar Yadav.
He's having a field day.
And that goes for 4, 1 bounce.
He's certainly swinging.
Yeah, he is very, very good. I mean, again, it's not really a drive in the conventional sense of the word, is it? It's more of a slap. But
stand and deliver, isn't it?
Yeah. Good. It's a good shot. It's 4 runs.
They could end up with 200 here. Considering they were...
Well, what are there? 11 balls left. That's 158 on the board.
No, maybe not 200.
It would be quite impressive.
It would be quite impressive.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Kohli does have an average of 172 against Afghanistan in T20s.
Really good slower ball from Van Meekeren there. Although the gun says 77 miles an hour, so maybe it was just one of those ones where he rolls his fingers over the side and it does something a little bit odd off the pitch.
I think so.
As we take a look at Kohli and Surya Kumar wrist work. Make that what you will. I think
wrists.
The Kohli 400 average is in chases where India have won and he's done something. It's a bit of a contrived stat, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
Van Meekeren in. Yorker whipped through the leg side by Surya Kumar Yadav. That is a cracking shot, but good piece of fielding by the man from long on, who gets around very well. Again, India only pick up 2 there, possibly a 3, but you don't want to do a hamstring or something like that against the Netherlands, do you?
Nope.
Is that the doorbell?
It is. I think it's Andy.
Andy Ward in the house. A couple more to India. That's the 160 up.
Well, yeah, I think the 175 I predicted is looking pretty good now.
Yes, you're in the ballpark. Short and pull whip behind square on the leg side by Surya Kumar. Will be just a single, a man positioned perfectly to cut that off on the rope. It's a good sky in Sydney,
odd
isn't it?
Stats. I came across a very odd stat for Joss Butler the other day. It's got something like 3 times as high an average when England lose the toss as when they win it, or vice versa. Seems no reason for that at all.
Bear has a massive Carluccio's delivery. I'm sure
Brian, you're a hero.
Another short ball with a little bit of finger wrist action from the bowler is mistimed by Surya Kumar Yadav, who's looking to hit over the leg side. Picks up just a single.
What is Carluccio's?
It's like a sort of deli type, restaurant-y type place. Ooh, croissant, cup of coffee.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. It's good to be loved, Bear.
Oh, and a brownie.
It's got a brownie.
It is good to be loved.
Yeah.
No, there's another something here.
One to come in the 19th over. It's a very good Yorker now. There's a little bit of in-swing action there, I think. It's dug out and it will be a dot. It's a really good over from Meekeren there. Only 8 from it, 4 off the first ball, and he recovers very, very well from that. 200 definitely off the table now. 162 for 2 India after 19.
Mog says there are days on here when I get more fucking sponsored tweets than real ones. So I don't ever get a sponsored tweet, so definitely my ad blocker for $40 a year is well worth having.
Maybe nobody wants to sell you anything.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Maybe you're just not a market that anyone's interested in.
You're just an old fart, Jez Messi, and they just think,
well,
it's not worth advertising.
I've had my personal details stolen twice from 2 big organisations in the last week, and nobody seems to have scammed me for anything because there's nothing there to take.
I had some company got in touch with me yesterday, last week. It was the biggest scam. Well, not scam.
1 over to come. First ball from Van Beek is full, and not timed particularly well from Virat there, who drops it into the offside.
That'd be handy.
And picks up a single. The doorbell goes again, so Bear will have to depart. It could be. I mean, maybe it's another snap. Maybe it's my Carluccio's. Where's my Carluccio's?
Where's yours? I think you get the brownie, Jack.
Yeah, cappuccino, double shot. Something savoury for me, please. Van Beek drags back his length a little bit. Surya Kumar makes some room, drives / pushes back down the ground, and Tim Pringle will do the fielding. Good running from India that time. They pick up 2 runs, so there's 4 balls to go. 165 for 2. I think Netherlands have done pretty well in the last 3 overs to
pull it
get
back,
a handle on things. Yeah, and they're going to walk off without India having achieved a score that looks particularly outrageous. I think they've already passed the point that the Netherlands can win the match, personally. But Van Beek in, and again, this angle's causing a lot of problems, I think, for the Indian batters bowling from very far out wide around the wicket. That hits the pads, I think, of Surya Kumar, and they pick up a single or a leg by.
My most brazen advertising pitch was last week. I got an email from a company selling CCTV cameras, basically saying we're on our way over with the cameras that you wanted. I was like, what are you? And then I ignored it. 2 days later, they said the same thing. Eventually, I emailed them back and said, I don't know who you are and I don't want your cameras.
Van Beek in, that's not such a good ball. It's a full toss and it's dispatched over square leg by Virat Kohli. Commentators cursed there. He'd been bowling very well, but that one was a free hit.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6.
Yeah, good timing, good wrist work.
Yep.
72 metres, that's out at the MCG, but
we're not
at the MCG.
Well, exactly. Well, this is it. I was saying earlier, England have never won at the MCG in the T20I in the finals there, so we're in trouble.
Well, that's it. Game over. In fact, we don't want to get there.
No.
Yeah, that's why we lost to Ireland. Say we, I had no part in it. I want to exonerate myself. Here's Van Beek. Bangs one in. Sure, it's pulled, hooked by Kohli. Had no timing whatsoever. I think that must have hit quite high up on the bat. Floats towards fine leg, and they pick up a single. So one to come in the innings. 173 for 2. Messi, what did you say? 175. I think the average number of runs scored off the final ball of an innings is 2. So
an amazing stat.
There you go. So I'll get this right, and I'll be one off on the GPL. You can pretty well bet on that.
Well, 173. Yeah. Well, it's not going to win on a 3. Well, no, it could do because you presume Netherlands are going to lose. So
here's Van Beek. Oh, it's full. It's on the leg side. It's hit high up in the air. And caught over the fence, caught by the man in the front row. It's 6 runs to end things. 179 for 2. They were going very well, the Netherlands. Last 3 balls let them down slightly. 6-1-6.
And they made 65 off the last 5 overs.
Yeah, that's about right. Just give it a quick jingle. So 358. 359 for a winning score for Netherlands, which I don't think is going to happen, but I'll just check on that.
Yeah, I mean it would take something quite unusual, wouldn't it?
And no one would win the GPL if that happened.
No.
However, they're going to lose. So it's a question of how much they lose
unless
by.
they hit a 4 off the last ball when they're level and get to 363, which I happen to have.
So if they got 100, somewhere in the 100 range. Dwellis has got a couple. Messi Jez, you're in the game.
Yeah,
in the 120 range. Messi Jez, you're in it again. And Indo's got a chance with 309. There's a few people in play, maybe.
Yeah, there are indeed.
Good fun being part of it.
Right, I've got to run home and get something because I forgot something at home. Which is really quite annoying.
Probably all his weed.
Huh? No. That's in my pocket. I'll have one of them when I get back. But I've got to go and do something. So I'm not on until 10th over anyway, so I should have time to go and do that.
All right.
We'll just flip on some highlights. They won't be off for long, will they? Because they're running late anyway.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see you shortly.
Who's back? Who's on after the break?
It is 40 Messers and Indo. You can get people back on after the break, can't you? You know how to switch it back.
Yeah.
So who's on? You'll be on
remember.
jingles and stuff, won't you?
Is Andy here?
Andy is here. He's next door.
Oh, right.
Well, Andy can help.
Yeah, you can do it between you. I shouldn't be long. It doesn't take me long to get home and back.
All right. Cheerio.
Okay. Ciao.
See you in a bit.
As a writer, where I was confident of the research that I could do and get it right after having written 3 books. So I set out to write it chronologically because for me that's when you write the story of any sport. The chronological approach, I think for a reader makes sense because you don't switch back and forth too much across generations.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I approached it, and what really was the case was that because there wasn't so much written history about the genre, I had to depend a lot on my friends at Cricket Archive for scoreboards. The Indian players, I would say 1990s and earlier, were extremely accommodative. They were very happy to speak, tell me stories. Getting access to them through some journalist friends, because I'd never been a journalist, so I wasn't really good in this sphere of influence, if you like. But they were very nice, and they gave me a lot of stories. And I went back into quite a lot of the archives, newspaper archives, some older books which had been out of print. I acquired those books. And then I did. I must have spent 80% of the time on research and 20% in writing.
Well, it comes across, I think, when you read the book. It is definitely not a dry history of those magical 74 spinners. Well, some maybe not so magical, but what shines through, I think, as I read it, is it combines a depth of knowledge with a clearly underlying passion for the art of spin bowling and Indian spin, and that definitely comes through. Enthusiasm for the game and the art is kind of baked into every page. Now, one thing though that interests me, literally from more or less page 1, is that you're covering the history of the art of spin bowling and Indian spin bowling. So what's the most obvious thing for you to do to get to write the forward? Well, you don't do it, because you go straight to a fast bowler. and you get him to write the forward, and I thought, well, that's interesting. What was your thought process on that one?
Look, I mean, Kapil Dev is far more than a fast bowler as far as Indian cricket is concerned. He changed the trajectory of cricket in India with his whole approach, with the 1983 World Cup win, obviously, but also with his entire approach to the game, which was such a different approach from Sunil Gavaskar, being captain of the side before that, great batsman as he was, but fairly defensive as a captain. And then Kapil comes in, and he's like a breath of fresh air, right? He's going to take chances. So I think he, in that respect, is far more than just a fast bowler. But more importantly for me, because he had a long career, when he first started, he was playing with and against the quartet and a few other spinners who I talk about who didn't play for India, so Paddy Shivalkar, Rajinder Goyal, etc. And then under him, there were a lot of spinners who played right up to Anil Kumble, Maninder Singh. So he had actually been associated with 3 generations of spinners during his cricketing. So the perspective that he could give was quite unique. And when I had the conversations with him, when he wrote the foreword, I think it comes out in the foreword that he has a view.
He does, an expert one at that.
Yeah.
Did he, just out of interest, do you happen to know if he had a slower turning ball in his armoury, or? I mean, a lot of good cricketers are good cricketers and can do a bit of everything. That us humble club cricketers could only dream of. He probably could rip a ball as well as a lot of club cricketers, I would bet, could Kapil Dev.
I'm sure. But he was primarily an outswing bowler, right? That was where his strength was. But he developed a lot of different variations during his career.
I love the way you mentioned the quartet there, and we are, I'm sure, going to be exploring them. But you're talking, I assume, of Bedi Prasanna, Chandra and Venkat, who have acquired just a bit like the Beatles, the Fab Four. They were the Fab Four of Indian cricket through the 70s, I think, late 60s and 70s, right? And that wonderful first win, series win in the UK, sealed at the Oval. Now, there was a line in...
Actually, if I may interrupt you there, since we're talking about the quartet.
Sure.
In my view, the West Indian pace quartet wouldn't have existed but for the Indian spin quartet, in my view.
Now, that was a very interesting thought. To explain a little bit more about that.
Sure. if you go back to 1975, 76, and the Australia series where Thompson essentially made Clive Lloyd realize what fast bowling could do. And then we come to 1976, Bisham Bailey's team goes to the West Indies, and on a Port of Spain pitch which is taking spin, Lloyd declares and loses the match in the fourth innings. And what does he do? In the next test onwards, he virtually never ever picks a spinner. And that's, I think these two things combined brings in his pace quartet strategy in place. So in some ways, Tiger Pataldi bringing in the spin quartet strategy, saying that this is what my strength is, so why would I have pace bowlers on my side, is replicated somehow, mirrored, if you like, by Lloyd, by saying, I don't need spin bowlers, I have pace bowlers.
Well, that's one of the other interesting things. This book has been written in a time when India is unusually rich in seam bowling talent.
Yeah.
If I think of the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, for example. But now there's a line from a conversation that you had with Australian cricket writer Mike Coward, and it really grabbed me, and I wanted to sort of have a little dig about it. What he said was, it's undeniable that ground pitch and weather conditions in India have traditionally suited the development of fast bowlers. But, he says, so too, spin bowlers, yes, I beg your pardon, development of spin bowlers. But, he says, so too has the Indian character, even in temper, patient, stoic and respectful. What do you think he really meant by that? Because even I can think patient, stoic, respectful. As an Australian, I'm not seeing Shane Warne when I hear those words. So what? So what is it? What is it?
Hello, folks. Now we're hoping that I haven't ballsed this up and that people at home can hear us. Yeah, so Andy's going to go and road test this in the other room. And if not, well, I don't know. We're good. Perfect.
Hello.
Well, we'll hang around here and do some jingles.
I don't hear anything.
Yep, we're
What
good.
happened? Oh, he can't hear anything.
Can you hear us, Forthy?
I can hear you.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm okay.
Right. We're all good.
We're all good to go. Welcome to the second innings of this India-Netherlands match. We've got a ninja in Singapore who's going to add very special comments. We've got Messi in Perth who's going to add very special tweets. And we've got Max O'Dowd who looks like he's going to be facing the first ball. Apologies to a ninja, apologies to Messi. I'm on a little 10-second delay here. And I'm experiencing an abundance of jerkiness to misquote a certain
just as
phrase
well
from
the
the
porn
COVID
bot
days.
isn't with us today.
Exactly so.
10 seconds won't kill anyone.
Well, thank you very much. That's very generous. We've got Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who's going to be opening the bowling. An experienced hand, 81 matches. Decent economy rate of 7 in T20 cricket, international cricket. There's a little delay as we're just setting out his mark. Probably be Max O'Dowd on strike. We'll see in a moment. Had your dinner, a ninja?
No, it's not even 5 o'clock, so...
Well, that would have been a very early dinner, of course, yes.
I'm in the middle of a bowl of pistachios, which wasn't a good choice, really. But once you start...
Yeah, they're very, very Moorish. As first ball is bowled. And it is a dot ball. That looks like it's O'Dowd on strike. Netherlands chasing this slightly unlikely target of 180, but never say never.
Indeed.
I mean, India would be not just firm favourites, but red-hot favourites from here. But we've seen...
I doubt if Netherlands ever chase down a total like that. Anyway.
I think it's extremely unlikely.
Yeah.
In fact, it's Vikramjit Singh who's facing, and he advances down the wicket very aggressively and then leaves the ball entirely and watches it go past his bat with a sign of intent.
Well, Aninda, I can tell you that I'm holding 50 of your virtual dollars here, and Netherlands are 25 to 1 now. You know, you want a plunge?
How about 5?
You want 5? Oh, God.
Wow,
Singh
what the
is,
hell? I'd be generous. Just put all. Nah, I don't know. Let's keep the virtual dollars going. I mean, it'll be a conversation starter every time we get on the air.
Singh fails to penetrate the inner ring there. Just hits it powerfully and accurately, but straight to the man in the covers. He's a young lad. He's 19. He's a left-hand bat. He's played 7 international ODIs before. He's actually only got a strike rate of 94.93. So he is an old-fashioned anchor, which is exactly what Netherlands don't need at this stage. Kumar in again. Smashed again straight to the mat in the covers. This is not the start Netherlands are looking for. 4-dot balls in a row. Any inside word from the Indian camp? What should we be looking out for in this innings and Ninja?
No, we had Surya Kumar Yadav being interviewed where he sounded, right after the innings, where he sounded very pleased with the total.
Yes,
but he actually sounded, and he sounded even more pleased for having the chance to bat with Virat Kohli in the form that he is.
Absolutely. Oh, that's a really good ball from Kumar. It swung and swung late and was going down leg side, so no appeal, but that's the 5th dot in a row.
Got a good stat for you here. Rick Finley is the ABC scorer in Australia, and very good statter. It says India's 179 versus the Netherlands is the lowest T20 total while losing only 2 wickets.
No, that's a nice niche little stat.
Would we like some
last
jingles?
ball of the over? That swung in just a touch, so Singh actually did well to keep it out. But that is a maiden to start with on this unlikely chase for 180. Who've we got joining us on Twitter?
Colin Slater says it's dangerous eating brownies with the bear while the Netherlands are playing.
Yes, that's very true.
And I've tweeted out on our timeline a thing about Twitter ads singers do discussing them. I discovered that Chrome has got an extension available, which is free of charge, which apparently blocks all those sponsored ads. So if you want to put that on, I've just put the link to it there for you.
After this ball, in fact, I'm going to play the jingle now and you just talk over it. This is Max O'Dowd.
No pressure.
So this is the big stage.
No pressure.
You're the future.
No pressure.
And now is the time.
So down, what will you do?
Well, we've got Arshdeep Singh into the attack. He's a relatively fresh face in the Indian team amongst all the experienced players. Young 23 left arm over bowler, and that's his first ball, which is stroked. And this time the inner field is penetrated, and they'll go all the way for 4 of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Aninja, anything you can tell us about Arshdeep?
He's one of the best young fast bowlers India has at the moment. Very, very good with the ability to bowl Yorkers almost at will, which is a very rare commodity in Indian fast bowling at the moment, other than Bumrah.
Yeah, it's very rare commodity international bowling generally these days.
Yeah.
Gone are the days when Darren Gough could land one on a sixpence. He comes in again for his second ball of the over, and that one just leaves O'Dowd, who plays into to be fair to him, probably just tucked his bat inside it. He's 4 off 2.
At the Asia Cup about a month and a half ago, against Pakistan, he dropped a catch in the penultimate over. I'll let you go on the next ball.
Well, don't forget there's a little delay, so you can continue.
Yep. I don't know when you're seeing it, so...
Imagine 10 seconds. Oh, well, he's coming in again now. So, sorry about the confusion, listeners. Arshdeep. And that's a carbon copy of the previous ball, but I think O'Dowd might have just had a little nibble at that, but it's a dot ball, so a good start from Arshdeep. Yeah, go on, Ninja.
Yeah, so he dropped the ball and he, Rohit Sharma, who's very calm normally, seemed quite angry about it. Obviously, it was Pakistan. And then, so the whole Indian Twitterati went after him. And when they do, they can be very, very nasty. So they were extremely nasty to this young kid. But what people missed was, this was the 19th over. On the 20th over, he bowls the 20th over. He bowls 5 Yorkers.
Oh, right.
I mean that shows you he's got a very solid pair of ahead on his shoulder.
Well, curse of the expert analyst, I'm afraid. That one has sailed over O'Dowd's back, and it is a wide. Interesting. He is a fast bowling Sikh bowler. I assume he is a Sikh.
He's not bowling well today, for sure.
One thinks of the great heritage of people like Bisham Bedi and so on. I associate Sikh bowlers like Marty Panesar with spin bowlers, but have there been other fast Sikh bowlers? Can come back to that in a moment. I'm sure there have been. In comes Arshdeep again. And that's played nicely and penetrates the gap between the 2-point fielders and gone away for 4 of these.
There's not one boy for me, I must have 2 or 3, I need 4.
Yes,
well, there was in the 1983 World Cup team, there was Balwinder Singh Sandhu who bowled that famous delivery at the opening against West Indies. Haynes left the ball and the ball came in and knocked his stumps off.
Yes.
So he comes to mind. I believe there was one more. I'm trying to remember.
Okay, well, as
Not
good
in recent
deep
times,
knowledge, famous Indian victory in the 83 World Cup at Lords, I believe, wasn't it? In comes Arshdeep again, and that's a really good ball, actually, just shaped to touch in, and inside edge, slightly involuntary shot, didn't go at all where he wanted, but they do rush through for a single as it goes down to the man at 45 on the leg side. He'll have to bowl that last ball again because they're wide earlier in the over, but it was a good ball.
Dowd holds his bat like a baseball. If you have noticed.
Yes.
A baseball bat. Yeah.
He looks like a baseball player, if we're absolutely honest. I'm not quite sure what I mean by that, but I kind of know what I mean by that. He's got an American look about him, if there is such a thing. They scuttled through for one there. Last ball of Arshdeep's over. Singh on strike. And he whips it off his legs.
Singh bowling
and comes through for a single. So Arshdeep's gone for 11 off his first over. Won't be the start he was quite looking for, but the score is 11 because the first over was a maiden.
So Singh bowls to Singh. There's a single.
Yes.
And 11. And it's 11 for now. Yeah.
The stars are aligning, indeed, they are.
Yeah. Mog wants to know when did we all start calling him Sky? Well, I have just done my research, and Gautam Gambhir gave him the name Sky in 2014. There you go.
Yep.
Okay, fair enough.
Is that how he prefers? Sky. In India, he's known as Sky.
Okay, is that how he prefers to be known? Do we know? Sometimes
I don't know, but that's what all the fans call him. Yeah.
University.
He's adopted
known,
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay. So we're back with Bhuvneshwar Kumar, who has got 86 wickets in this format of the game, so he knows what he is doing. Oh, that's very strange. How can I describe it? Singh attempted to get out of the way, but didn't quite leave his bat up as a periscope, but it kind of hit it as an afterthought and almost got caught and bowled, but not quite.
Bowled. Oh.
He got in a very awkward position there. Sounds as if something exciting may be about to happen on the second ball. I'll give you a little teaser there. There's one or two murmurs around the world. Here comes that second ball. Wait for it, wait for it. What is going to happen next? Vikramjit Singh faces Kumar and is clean bowled. Spoiler alert.
Sorry about that, I forgot.
We tried.
No problem at all. Well, that rather puts him out of his misery. He's gone for 1 run off 9 balls.
On your fight, mate.
never looked quite the races. I mean, he's actually timing the ball pretty well. Fine, it was just going straight to the field, and oh dear, that was a very ungainly shot.
Oh, it was. Ooh. Yes. A bit of artistic interpretation in terms of his dance at the end. Mog says, which reminds me, did you see that the noticed genius, Mark Waugh, called for Cummins to be exiled from the Australian T20 side forever?
Yeah, I saw that. That was just absolutely ridiculous.
What was that for?
What's his crime?
Junior Waugh. What can you say?
Is he just being stupid? Is this a selectorial thing, or is he, has he been rude to Steve or something?
Oh, I don't think Mark can mind that.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
Well, the new batsman is Baz de Leede. If we've got a little Baz de Leede jingle. I think we do. Here it comes.
Got no skills, got no runs, got no future, got no hope. No! Don't you know you got Baz the leader?
He's carrying on Singh's work by just knocking it down on the leg side for a dot ball. We can't have O'Dowd scoring all the runs, but that's the way it's going at the moment. What can we tell you about Baz de Leede? He bowled okay, and he's got 575 runs in this form of the game. His strike rate's only 111 though, and that's not going to be enough to get Netherlands over the line. Next ball from Kumar, another dot ball, and the pressure is already beginning to heap onto the Netherlands' shoulders. Shots in the crowd of some very happy Indians, and no surprise.
Oh dear, Cameron Green's whole career's just taken a setback. Apparently, Waugh not only demanded Cummins be dropped, but that Green be selected immediately.
No, that is a problem. Okay, so that's Kumar in for his fifth ball of the over, and what do you know? It's a dot ball. So far, O'Dowd's got 9 off 5 deliveries, and the balance of the rest of the Netherlands team have got 0 between them off their 10 balls.
Oh, that's impressive. I said to Mog, what the fuck has Waugh called for Cummins to be exiled for? And Mog says possibly because Mark Waugh is a fucking dipshit.
Last ball, yes, well indeed. Last ball of Kumar's over, and that's a dot ball. Won't be entirely surprised to hear. And so far, in this T20, I would remind you, international, Kumar has gone for 1 run off his first 2 overs. Messy.
Bloody hell. Well, we're up to date on tweets.
Okay.
And over on YouTube's Sulahu's there. He says, in fairness, Cummins continuously is the worst T20 bowler for Australia. Yeah, I still think he's got something. I wouldn't... Well, if I was going to do anything, I'd bring Nathan Ellis in for Stark, actually. But then, my selection history is not good.
That's very honest of you. We're just having a look at most T20 wickets in 2022 in internationals, and Kumar is top of the heap. So, not entirely surprising. Now, this is Mohammed Shami time. And if they thought they were going to get any let up, then of course Shami is an excellent bowler. And that first one is zooming in on the pads, but flicked away for the first run off Shami. And Netherlands moves on to 12. Actually, a ninja. Yep. Shami's record in T20s is not that great, is it? He goes at 9.3 economy rate, and he's only played 18 T20s.
You mean T20I?
T20Is, yes. No, I'm sure he's played multiple T20s. Yes.
Yeah. I think he is in the team for a couple of reasons. One is because he's the only one who's really got pace with Bumrah absent. So on Aussie pitches, they figured sometimes that's going to be useful. Secondly, he is he gets them off the deck quite well, better than the other Indian bowlers. And he's had an amazing IPL.
Okay. Second ball was a dot ball. You didn't miss anything there. Take it as read, unless I tell you otherwise, that unless it's to O'Dowd, it's going to be a dot ball. So there's no exception to that so far. Yeah, no, Pace can't be underestimated. Even though he's got an indifferent historical T20I record, Pace, as we saw from, for example, Mark Wood, does make a difference. And finally, De Leder gets one away. So he's now 1 off 6. That one went down to third man, and Netherlands moved on to 13-1.
Wow. This is amazing. India have announced that women cricketers are going to earn the same match fees as their male counterparts.
Wow.
I never thought they'd get there.
Yeah, even I know that. That is really.
That is interesting. Shami in again, strays onto the leg stump and flicked imperiously by O'Dowd to the leg side boundary, mid-wicket boundary for 4 of these. Jack, who's operating from the studio in Gorilla Towers, nonchalantly leaning back, very much at in control of things there. You seem to be looking a bit younger, if anything, Jack, just from where I am.
Or are you getting older?
maybe that's it. Next ball of the over. Dot ball, this time to O'Dowd. He's 14 off 8, Netherlands 17 for 1. So this has been pretty steady start from Shami. Just gone for 5. Can he finish off well? He looks like sweating rather profusely out there. We saw, I think it was it Van Meekeren, I think, was really sweating by the end of his modest 4 over stint. So I don't know whether it's particularly muggy in Sydney tonight or just generally warm. Last ball of the over. O'Dowd facing Shami. As a ninja says, shapes up baseball style.
I can see why you're saying he looks like an American. Well, he looks like one.
Yes.
He could look like an American.
And he gets it through the leg side, and they come back for a couple. Excellent. So that was a relatively successful over for Netherlands, and they went for 8. Netherlands are 19 for 1 at the end of the 4th.
So we're up to date on tweets, but what we haven't mentioned today is how lovely it would be if 1 or 2 more of you chose to join us on Patreon, where from just £2 a month you get a whole range of benefits and help us keep this whole crazy enterprise going, because it does cost a bit to keep us on air. And to do that, all you need to do is go to patreon.com/Gorilla Cricket, and that will give you the capacity to choose what level to join us at, and a whole lot of benefits. Oh, we're not back because you're 10 seconds behind.
I am indeed. Still looking at the beautiful sails on the Sydney Opera House, and it looks like it's going to be Akshar Patel coming onto bowl. So a little bit of slow left arm as he comes around the wicket to De Leder, who manages to get away to the man down at long off. So it's be a relief for the Netherlands. He gets off strike, moves on to 2. We have our baseball player back at the crease.
Oh dear.
Second ball of Akshar over, and he's been bowled. He has been bowled. O'Dowd came right across outside the off stump, tried to sweep, and was clean bowled. How did you read that one, Ninja?
Well, that was fated to happen if he went like that to trip it out. It was not a very smart idea, opening up the stuff. Sweep that.
Yeah.
I do hope you notice how
Akshar bowls flat and fast, so I mean that's just a stupid idea to open up all 3 stumps.
I think Netherlands' only hope of pulling off some sort of a miracle. I won't say it's quite walking off the ground, but it kind of is, because Max O'Dowd has been in terrific form recently, and he has gone. So it's going to be Colin Ackerman taking his place. Maybe a jingle for Colin Ackerman?
I don't think Jack's got his cans on.
No, he doesn't. Perhaps we give a little wave.
Jack.
No, don't think he has. No, he's just enjoying himself, and why not? You know.
This is
it's
you
a
announced
fairly-
the equal pay, right? For
Well, we all get equal pay, let's suppose.
No, you talked about. No, I didn't mean that. Sorry. You mentioned ECI has got equal pay for men and women, right? The moment they tweeted that, so Nakul basically puts out a tweet pretty much saying it's a lie because the annual contracts are half of the men.
Well, that's
Colin
true.
Ackerman.
Yeah,
So hang on 1 second. Well, hang on. Sorry. Colin Ackerman, first ball, plays it out into the offside for a dot ball. Second ball, another dot ball. No, it's not. It's played down to the man at long off, who has to scurry in, and they are able to come back for a single. Just got a couple of balls of this asynchronicity to go, guys, and then we can resume. Resume normal service.
Ah, dear.
2 balls to go of this first 5 overs. Akshar bowls it accurately, directly to Leder, who can only get it away for a dot ball. It's all going India's way. 1 ball of our little stint together to go. And this is a no ball. Leder advances down the wicket, but can only get it away for another single to the man at long off. At the end of the 5th over, Netherlands are 22 for 2, Leder on 3 off 9, and Ackerman for 1 off 2. And we will hand you over to the incoming commentary team.
I think I'm still on because we may be a little bit short in terms of whoever was going to come. Jack and Andy, are you coming on, Josh, or not?
Doesn't bother us.
It's just Mpendolo was going to be on and isn't making it, so somebody needs to jump in. That's it.
Well, we're talking about that. Shami's
We'll
bowling.
figure it out.
It's driven hard by the leader, but straight to Rohit Sharma extra cover. Fields cleanly. So it'll be another dot ball.
Do you want to stay on tweets then, Jez? Would that be easier?
Okay, yeah, I'll do that.
Good work.
Morning, everyone. What did you get?
G'day,
180,
Andy.
180 for India, 180 for 2, which is a bit of an odd score, but it's probably fair enough in the conditions.
As the leader taps his bat down, waiting for the second delivery of Mohammad Shami's over. And I think I've heard the bear return to the Gorilla Cricket Towers. Full driven runs. Quick runs. Quick 1 run to mid-off. Hardik Pandya fielding. Takes Netherlands up to 23 for 2.
So we must thank, who was it got us the coffee delivered this morning? Was that Brian?
I think so, yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Thank you very much, Brian. Even I had a small coffee.
Quite jumped up now, though.
Yeah. I might be a bit more hyper than usual.
Never happy, some people.
Don't normally drink coffee.
Here's Shami, moves one back in, it strikes Ackerman on the pad and trickles down towards third man. They come through for a single. There's a big appeal, mainly from the bowler, and I think slightly optimistically. Big in movement, and I think missing leg stump probably too.
Yeah, Rohit doesn't look too interested in that. Reasonably enough. So 24 for 2. India might like to think about your run rate, but it doesn't really change what you do when you're bowling much, does it?
No, not especially. I think India's win over Pakistan as well probably gives them a little bit of breathing space on that front.
It should do. Yeah. I mean, if there's also a lot of rain about.
For sure. As Shami comes in, full whipped into the leg side, and he finds KL Rahul at short mid-wicket on the bounce. So there's no run there. For a good piece of timing, 4 of 12 to leader, but he's played some nice strokes.
A few net shots, ping them straight to the fielders. Yeah. If you weren't with us, well, we didn't do it, but if you weren't aware, earlier this morning, South Africa thumped Bangladesh this morning by at least 100 runs. They got 207, something like that, and bowled Bangladesh out. So they boosted their run rate, as they weren't able to do against Zimbabwe. So that was something.
That was quite harsh on South Africa that they'd, effectively won that match. But,
yes.
Shami bowls one, it's short. It's pulled quite well in front of square on the leg side by the leader. Will it trickle to the fence? No! It's a great piece of fielding from KL Rahul, who does the full Superman dive, glides across the turf on his stomach and pulls it back in just inside the rope. It'll be 3 runs.
So was it the case that South Africa had scored more than they would have needed in 5 overs?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I know in theory they could have lost 8 wickets for naught, but it does seem like that kind of ought to count as a win.
I think the guys who designed the system said, because this has happened before, said that should be a win to the chasing team.
Yeah, okay. Well, one to look at maybe.
Yeah, yeah. South Africa's net run rate is currently 5.2.
Here is Mohammed Shami, bowls one in the channel outside off stump. Good test match areas. It's punched to cover. There will be no run. So 5 off of that one, 27 for 2, and we'll have some tweets.
So a new handle, Cricket Takes, which, or it may be an old person with a new Twitter handle, I don't know, says, I completely disagree with the gentleman's opinion about Shami. The only reason Shami is in the team is because Shahar was injured. In fact, India have plenty of bowlers who can bowl faster than Shami. Shami hasn't played a single T20I after last year's World T20. And Oxymoronica says, England not fired this tournament. What baffles me is we had a great squad playing in Pakistan that was ditched in favour of some imagined team of players past their best. Maybe it looked good on paper. The reality is poor decisions.
Agree, but England had picked their squad before that tour, which was also apparently they didn't need to do that, which was also very strange.
Yeah, Australia did the same.
The umpire signal it's the end of the power play, which they always do at the end of 6 overs, and we'll see Hardik Pandya into the attack. He starts with a slower ball, which flutters into the hip of Bastaleader, knocks it out into the leg side for a single.
So back to the point on Shami, he's not a bad replacement. I mean, they're missing Bumrah and Chahar. Having watched a lot of IPL, would you have pulled anyone else in?
Oh my
on
goodness,
Shami?
there's a proposal happening live
on
screen.
Don't ever do that, people. Don't ever do that. Fine if she says yes, total embarrassment if not.
It looks like she
about
says yes.
Setup.
If you get the we'll talk about that later, mate, just pack your bags.
Hardik in again, another slow one. Turned towards mid-wicket and there is no run. I don't know about Shami. I mean, I probably wouldn't have it in the top tier of T20 bowlers, but India aren't picking from their top tier of T20 bowlers. They've got a few injuries. I'd maybe have them above. Who else could they go with? Siraj?
Umesh's day is gone,
Umesh, I think. I think Harshal was used quite badly and it made him appear worse than he is. They used him as a death bowler when actually he's a bit more of a middle over specialist. So perhaps he's hard done by. Hardik pace on that time, back of the length, and Ackerman, who's coming down the pitch to manufacture something, skews it down to long on, and they pick up 2. One of the least convincing 2s I've ever seen.
Well, it's all the same in the book.
I mean, the other thing is you wouldn't be unhappy with Shami having got 1 for 25 off his 4 overs against Pakistan, would you?
Nah, he can do a job. I think the risk with Shami is later in the innings.
Can line him up.
Yeah. Pakistan, did they really do that? I don't remember them doing that. So, yeah. Hardik in again, just wide of off stump, and an attempted cut is sort of scuffed again, clothed into the offside, and they pick up a single.
Oh, so much happened in that Pakistan game. It's hard to remember. You know what? I mean, Pakistan took a few off someone towards the end of that innings, but I can't. Shaheen Shah Afridi scored a quick sort of 15, but I can't really remember off who.
He took. I think he hit Arshdeep for 10 in 2 balls.
Yeah, might have been. Yeah.
It was kind of blind hitting. I'm going to come down the pitch and swing as hard as possible. But sometimes that can work. That'll be a wide, I think, from Hardik. Yeah, another slower one. Gets the release wrong that time, and it goes down the leg side. Sprints back to the top of his mark.
Well, I don't want to encourage anyone to turn off. We'll certainly try to entertain you, but it's a bit of a procession, the rest of this game, isn't it?
Well, the GPL will become the focus.
Yeah.
I think it is unlikely that Holland will win. Pick up 2 there though, turned into the leg side. Ball trickles out to the boundary. Ashwin, who isn't the quickest mover in the world, I think he probably acknowledged that himself, this fielder, which makes it a little bit easier for the Dutch. 34 for 2. And I think they're actually moving the field now.
They do need to get to 84 before the GPL comes into play, of course.
we'll try to pass that on to the Netherlands think tank.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a very direct vested interest in this.
So Baz the leader's on 10, East Phase 15 balls, Ackerman at the other end 5 from 7. Just trying to get a feel for the pitch, I think. As Hardick goes slow again, wide of off stump, and driven through point. Will be another couple to the Dutch. The sweeper coming round from cover cuts off the boundary, but can't prevent the extra run. So a decent number of runs off Hardick's over there, 9. Taking the Dutch to 36 for 2 off of 7.
Colin Soda was pointing out about the number of wickets being a possibility in terms of DLS under 5 overs. But I think you addressed that, Andy, and the fact that the architects themselves were suggesting some changes were necessary.
Yeah, Colin just said on Twitter, I think it's fair that an innings of less than 5 isn't a fair classification, but if you've already got enough runs that it would have been enough in 5, then in that particular instance maybe it is.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be treated like a target. As Akshar continues, it's short, it's cut out to the man on the fence, it will be a single.
Nice underarm throw up from the boundary, approve of that.
Yeah, that is... that's good, yeah, don't want to stress your shoulder.
No, my strategy in the field is always just to hide for as long as possible during the innings that I cannot throw the ball at all. So
the trouble is, you're not alone, I suspect.
Not in the over 50s, I'm definitely not.
Aksharin, the leader tries to use his feet, but actually spears it in a little short, and he's unable to get back on ball. And Aksha comes again, fuller that time, driven past the man at cover. That'll be a single. They turn, they're looking for 2, coming back for it, and they make it reasonably comfortably in the end.
I'd like to see a little bit of something from the Netherlands, a little bit of boundary intent.
Maybe they'll just do the whole thing in 2s.
Maybe, yeah, sort of get to 140 and go, it's practice, I guess.
Aksha comes again, down the pitch from the leader, pokes it through mid on, but Rahul off the fence well from long on keeps them to 1.
So, yeah, don't be like us with the GPL. We both just said on the break we were going to enter, but then we forgot. So make sure you get your entries in for this afternoon's game.
Oh, down the pitch from Ackerman. He has a big swing and a big miss. DK behind the stumps does not gather the ball though, and we get the gilt cam shot afterwards. I feel like that was a pretty regulation stumping. And
that's not like DK, isn't it? I agree. That was fairly straightforward. It didn't really turn or anything.
Gives himself room, Ackerman, this ball. Cuts it out into the offside. They pick up 1, they look for 2, they don't get it this time. That brings the over to a conclusion. 5 from it, 41 for 2 after 8.
Colin says, I think it's fair that an innings less than 5 overs isn't a fair classification.
I would agree with that, except that the team batting second have got the number of runs that mean that if we had 5 overs, they'd have won the match.
Especially when it's as convincing as it was in that match.
There's no debate about it.
Ahead.
Well, yeah, but you can't really put in the rules unless it's really convincing.
Well,
no, I'm just saying for Jez.
I think it should be cut and dried. The 5 over target for the DLS is the amount of runs that you'd need to achieve in 2 overs to claim the win.
I think that would be a fairly straightforward change that they should consider. Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's no debate about who won that match.
None at all. No.
Apart from this weird rules loophole, which actually in this situation doesn't serve to further the purposes of the game, as Ashwin is in and it's knocked back to him. Like it is, I think, demonstrably unfair on South Africa that they haven't got 2 wins.
Nonetheless, you can argue it was demonstrably unfair on Zimbabwe to make them bowl. I'm not sure they'd have made India or England bowl.
I think that might be fair as well, as Ashwin sends one wide of off stump, and it's picked up very well by Ackerman on the slog sweep. Flies through the air, 1 bounce into the advertising hoarding for 4 runs.
Collins in a. I'll deal with this in a second.
As Ashwin bowls, Ackerman nudges the ball into the leg side, and Rohit does quite well to keep them to 0 runs.
Yeah, Collins in a game says, but a 1-ball innings and it's sliced for 3 and they win because that's higher than. We're not talking about that.
Yeah. Ashwin in, it's short, and Ackerman has a real go at it, but sort of toes it.
At least we're seeing some intent, though.
Back down the ground for
to
a
try and
single.
hit a boundary, yeah.
Yeah, what we're saying is that there's the 5-over point, which is when the game becomes a game. South Africa would be on the number of runs they needed at that point to have won it.
In fact, they were beyond the number of runs they would have needed at 4 overs.
You mean 6 overs?
Sorry,
yeah,
6 overs.
Yeah. Ashwin in the leader. He's trying to use his feet, but I think he's tipping the bowler off. He's going very, very early, and that means India are able to spear the ball in and sort of tuck him up. It happens again there. There's no run. He nudges it to square leg, and we'll pick up a single off Ashwin's Karen ball to end the over, the one that sort of spins the other way.
Yeah, briefly before we go back to Sweets, I mean, these guys, Ashwin and Axar, they've seen people coming down the track to them before, in IPL. They've seen better batsmen try to do this. You've got to go late. I know from my own experience, you're thinking about doing it. It's very easy to just go, you want to do it, you go a little bit early, the bowler sees you, and then you're in trouble.
Yeah. 47 for 2 at the end of the over. What have we got, Jez?
Well, Armchair Cricket Podcast has retweeted a quote from Aaron Finch saying that one of the possible mooted replacements for Wade as a wicket-keeper if he got sick was Mitchell Starc. Instead,
wow.
Really? He must be nimble, no
Oh,
doubt.
no, I did actually saw this quote. Axar is in, the leader uses his feet again, drills it back to him, and actually gets a hand on it, deflects it towards the stumps, but it just trickles past. I think that could have been close to a run out, at
That's
the
out,
striker's end. That is out. It's a wide ball. The leader has a big hack at it, as he should have done, but doesn't time it well at all, and it floats to point where it is taken very, very comfortably.
Yeah, well, we'll try to focus on this game as much as we can, but while we've raised that point, if you weren't aware, Matthew Wade has tested positive for COVID, but Australia are saying they're going to play him anyway, and they're allowed to do that within the rules. But there's some doubt about whether he can keep wicket.
Oh, right.
Because he's close to the batsman and mouthing off at them all the time.
Yeah, do you remember in the Commonwealth Games, Talia McGrath?
Oh, I thought it was. Yes, it was.
But she couldn't sit with the team, and she had to celebrate separately to them.
That was wrong. That was a star player in the final, and they wanted her to play. It would not have happened to a random player from a random team.
I think there's a couple of players in this tournament who have played with the vid, though, aren't there?
Zampa's missed out. Presumably, he just had a stronger case, and he wasn't actually.
Yeah, possibly. Also, Ashton Agar's a fair replacement, I think, for Zampa.
We said that during the game. It didn't really cost Australia much, if anything.
Yeah.
Well, not a doctor, but
I
it
would
seems
think
off
that
to
the
me.
ideal thing to do would be to let Wade go, let Finch keep wicket. At least he does something useful then, and you bring somebody else in.
I want to see Starc take wicket and take them off to bowlers 4 overs.
I saw Davey Warner doing a little bit of a keeping warm up. Apparently, they were saying that Starc actually does keep wicket in the warm up sometimes when they're on tour. I guess you get bored of doing fielding drills, don't you?
He'd be the only player to have 300 test wickets and a stumping.
Yeah. Well, I reckon Warner would be an amazingly good and an amazingly annoying wicketkeeper.
That seems to be the main qualification for it these days. When people are talking about wicketkeepers,
especially in Australia.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, honestly, but the comment was saying he liked, I think, one of the associate team's wicket-keepers, again, because he's busy, because he's always talking, because he's always telling people what to do. And that is actually taking catchings and stumpings relevant now, or do you just have to mouth off at people?
This was the thing about Sam Billings in the test team, wasn't it? People really wanted him in, presumably because he was loud in the one test that he did play.
Yeah. Well, you want to make an impression, don't you? But yeah, I'd rather. Maybe I'm thinking from more of a club cricket level. I'd rather have someone who just catches the ball and takes the odd stumping.
Yeah.
Paul Nixon, does that mean anything to you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he was picked for his sledging, wasn't he?
Read his book. It's very good. Yeah.
I've spoken with him. He did an interview with him.
Yeah, Josh just put his name in the dish, as it were.
He was like the most intense PE teacher you could ever wish to meet. That was.
He's a sort of ex-army PE teacher.
Yeah,
isn't
he was a bit like that. He was a really nice guy, but absolutely loved the battle.
There's a very funny story in his book about how he got Gooch out. Well, he said he got Gooch out, but if we have a moment here, it doesn't seem to be anything actually
I think
happening
they're
in the
taking
game.
drinks because of
Okay,
the
I'll do it then.
Oh,
He said, "Oh no, we're back on," but I'll go on with this.
Aksha comes in, tosses that one up quite slow by Aksha standards, and Tom Cooper will get off the mark first ball with a drive through the covers. Shammy does the fielding on the rope, but they are able to pick up 2.
Well, obviously Gooch was a monster in county cricket. He just scored a zillion runs, and Nixon said it was very hard to get under his skin as well. So what he started doing, but Gooch had this routine.
Aksha through, driven, and that will be a single down the ground to Cooper.
Where he would do something like step to one side and scrape his studs or do whatever, and Nixon just kept mimicking him and doing it as well. And Gooch sort of goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he said, "Oh, just do my thing, mate." And he said it did annoy him enough to get out.
Another drive from Ackerman this time beats extra cover. Will be a single down to Deepak Huda, who's on as a sub at long off. I wonder who he's on for. Probably Hardik. Hardik usually has a mid-innings rest.
He keeps telling us he's fit, Hardik. You didn't look it when he was batting against Pakistan.
Last ball of my spell, and then I'm done for the game. Thanks, Bishop.
You're back for the second one, though,
I
aren't
am,
you?
yeah, I'm back later on. Wide delivery from Aksha, and it's cut into the floor by the Dutch batter. 51 for 3 at the end of the 10th. I'm not sure much is going to happen in this match, but enjoy it, fellas. Maybe there's some GPL action later on.
Jack, you're very welcome to stay on and do a session on socials if you like.
Yeah, Moosey's just done 2 in a row, so
in a row.
you could do that.
Yeah, all right then.
Yeah.
Okay. Good on you. Mog's the next tweet. Sorry, no, Colin Sutter is the next tweet about Maxwell. Thanks.
And it is. I'll read it. No worries, Jez. Nice to be on with you again. Colin says Maxwell has been practicing wicket keeping. Yeah, I imagine he'd be a good wicket keeper. And Mog says the only reason Wade got back into the side is because he's a mouthy little prick. There was a ball there from Ashwin driven down the ground for a single.
I was about to describe it.
Okay,
oh, sorry, John.
Go ahead.
I thought it was the bear. I'm just socials now.
You're just socials, but we can converse.
The bear's back on.
I'm going to completely disagree with you. Your situation
into that chair
in the South Africa game.
I thought they were wrong about the South Africa game.
No, I think they were right. And
Ashwin over the wicket. It's pushed up just outside off stump. Beats the bat. No run.
I mean, it's the weirdness of the game is when they come out, they've got to assume that the most amount of bowlers overs that can be bowled are going to be bowled. Therefore, I mean, it's a disadvantage to one team or the other.
Ashwin again this time drifting onto the stumps. It's squirted up. The bowler can't quite get back under the ball to take the catch. Squirts away off a leading edge, and the batters complete an utterly meaningless single.
Well, it's not meaningless to people in GPL, but there you go.
Good point. I'm sorry. It matters more if you've got money on it, as this time Ackerman goes down on one leg, looks better sweep. There's a little fumble. It was hit hard to that's Cody, isn't it?
No, that wasn't. That was Shammy, and that was appalling fielding. And there's a double teapot from Ashwin, which I'm not surprised. Shammy just kind of looked at his hand and bumbled around, and then decided to pick the ball up and throw it in.
I mean, it was hit very, very crisply.
That was hit reasonably well, but I mean, it's just burst through his hands, and it's just poor fielding. DK gives him the old side eyes as well.
Ashwin gesturing in the field. He's not happy. He's relocating some of his positions. We've got 4 out on the fence, almost all in front of square. There's a deep backward square out is the only exception, as Ackerman pushes to orthodox extra cover, who's 5-10 metres in from the circle. Nice positioning there. There would probably be a single on offer if he was standing out, but he's able to cut it off. 55 for 3, 1 ball remaining in the 11th as Ashwin comes in, drifts a long way down the leg side. It is rightly called a wide.
Yeah, that's a poor ball. Just trying to shove it down there, saw him moving across his stumps.
Have we had a wide jingle?
No.
Wide.
Wide.
Just talked over it.
Oh.
As Ackerman looks to make hay, there's a touch of inside edge through to the wicketkeeper. No run there. The Netherlands are 56 for 3 after the 11th, and as you rightly say, Bear, the only thing that is of any interest in this game are the IPL targets.
GPL targets, the IPL.
GPL,
the IPL targets will be bid for sometime in January. Anyway, go for it, Jack.
Cricket Tale says exactly the train of thought that informed India picking Saha over Rishabh in Australia. I presume that's relating to being loud behind the stumps or sledging.
Yeah. Possibly. Yeah, I can't understand why Rishabh isn't in this side, and maybe he's just had a bad run coming into it. Over to you, Josh.
That was live, wasn't it? Yeah. Axar is cut not particularly elegantly away through the slip cordon down towards the third boundary. The batters ought to have come back for 3.
No, they came back for 2.
Just 2?
2? I think it was 2, yeah.
Nah, that's 3.
Oh, was it 3? Okay, it was 3. I got it wrong. I apologise.
I still miss the Test Match Special 1990s inset that showed the batters running in the top corner.
Oh, that was great, yeah.
No.
They've occasionally tried that again in certain tournaments. It kind of comes back for a little bit of fashion, but they don't seem to carry it on. They'll do it for like 2 or 3 games, and then
it's only really useful if you're trying to call the
amount of runs.
If you're trying to call the proceedings from the TV pictures. Axar again, left arm around the wicket, lovely. Well, basically a long hop, but a lovely slightly back of a length just inside the tram lines. It's pushed away in front of square off the back foot for a single.
Yeah, well.
Do you remember the digitised version of it? I think maybe for the 2019 World Cup.
Ooh, this time Axar steps wide of the crease, pulls it straight back into Cooper, can't get it away. Dot ball there, 60 for 3.
Was that the one where he had like objects at top, basically just crossing up? Yeah, I did vaguely
Getting
remember
through
that.
this quickly, he goes straight, does Cooper. Axar reaches up to try and take a catch that isn't quite there for him. It's fielded at long on. The batter's just the one there, I think it was.
Got a hand to that.
He did. And it did carry, didn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely carrying. It was going pretty fast. I mean, it's not a bad effort. You don't get a lot of time to pick it up.
They stick or they don't, do those?
Yeah, basically.
As this time Cooper drives hard, can't beat the fielder at short extra, who dives, stops it not quite cleanly, but prevents any action between the wickets. 62 for 3, 1 ball remaining in the 12th. Are we already into the GPL scores? As this time Cooper looks to play the reverse sweep. Misses the ball entirely. It's taken behind the stumps. No run at the end of the 12th.
2-4-1 currently.
62 for 3.
2-4-1. No, we're not. The lowest entry is Messi Jez on 263. I'm sure, Messi. I know you're there somewhere. You're going to send across your very handy thing that comes through on WhatsApp.
I think he's put them in the WhatsApp, hasn't he?
Yeah, good lad. I love it when he does that. It means I don't have to think. I can just look at the score and go,
Colin says Josh has gone very because the lady live milk tray. I don't understand that.
No,
I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
Is it commenting on my voice, perhaps? I've got a bit of a cold at the moment as Ackerman goes down on towards one knee, looks to clear the wicket boundary, but can only pick out the fielder who's out there, takes a regulation catch. The Netherlands are 62 for 4.
Stop being shit.
Yeah, that's about right.
I don't think they're going to stop being shit this game. The only question is, will they get those 20-odd runs that are required to bring the GPL into
Well,
play?
they should do. They've got 6 wickets left, haven't they? The look you just gave me there, Jack, that's very telling. It's these sorts of games do end up being pointless. But I'll get back to my point on the South Africa-Zimbabwe game. You've got to have a hard cut-off when a game's a game, and it's very difficult to decide how many overs the team batting first has, because you're assuming that the game will go its full length, so you give them the maximum time, the maximum overs, so they bat to that pace, even though I know it's Zimbabwe and blah blah blah, there's all those things. But at what point do you say the cut-off is? Because if the first ball of the second innings goes for 6, then you go, well, they're ahead of the race.
No,
and
but
they
that
win,
isn't what we're saying. If the required number of runs at the end of 5 overs was 6, and they hit the first ball for 6 and went off for rain, then they should win.
No, well,
So
I think that's a bit
but
too.
what we're saying is that if
So the
quiet,
problem with that is that it doesn't allow the fielding side enough balls to take the wickets. It becomes
They
a
should've-
very, very low risk strategy. I mean, how do you?
they shouldn't have given up the number of runs. They had a chance to not let South Africa get 55 in 3 overs, and they didn't take it. They bowled shit.
Ashwin again into the as yet jingled new batsman. They apparently somehow didn't manage to cross, or either that or they crossed on the way back. He gets off the mark first ball with a paddle down towards the 45 area.
Let's do Edwards quickly.
You're at the buffet, ruefully looking at salads. A figure swoops in, it's the famous Scott Edwards.
Now you have to remember, Josh, there's the law change.
Oh yeah. Of course they no longer crossing. They no longer anyway. Yeah, it was
Doesn't
dot
matter.
ball, swing and a miss taken by the wicketkeeper. No run. Yes, sorry, my bad. Of course, crossing no longer happens, does it?
No.
Or rather, whether or not it happens, it's immaterial. Ashwin again, this time down Cooper's leg side. He goes aerial. He picks out the fielder at deep square leg. This time Shami's hands are safe. Another regulation catch just below waist height. It's tossed back into the wicketkeeper, and the Netherlands are 63 for 5. You know what? I'm not sure they will get those 20.
Yeah, you could be right. Give him a jingle.
Make it the fuck off one.
Yeah.
After you've gone.
He really did not have to move. He kind of ambled in. It was so nonchalant.
I tell you what, if that had been at the MCG, it would have probably been taken by someone standing next to the umpire.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's interesting at the MCG, actually. A lot of teams have decided to have a fielder who's about 20 yards in off the boundary.
What we used to call no man's land, but
Well,
is
yeah, well,
actually
exactly. But at
pretty
the
good catching
MCG,
height
it's
for
about the
not
right
quite
place.
Full-blooded, yeah.
But then you're taking a risk. If they do get it over you, it looks stupid, and they get a 4, you know.
So the problem with closing off the game when you've reached the 5-over target with is it means the batters have an incentive and the bowlers can't do anything about it.
The bowlers can. They
well, the
cannot
bowlers
let the
can.
other team score those runs, or they
Yeah.
can take some wickets.
Yeah, but
the point is it's an upside risk for only one side, so it's completely unsporting, which in a sporting contest makes no sense whatsoever. As Cooper pushes the ball out to to orthodox backward point, and there's a scampered single taking on the arm.
But it's a fluent target. So if they do take, so if you're the batting team and you need to get 30 in 5 overs, and you
Yeah.
take some risks to do that, and you lose 2 wickets, the number of runs you need goes up.
Yes, but the number you need, you can't make the 5-over target into the 3-over target on the assumption that no wickets would fall
course
between
you
3
can.
and 5 overs, and that's completely unreasonable.
Because
this
it's a
time there's
target.
swing and a miss outside.
I get what you're saying, but
Edwards taken by the
We're
wicketkeeper.
going to have
no run.
Pringles jingle.
Okay, Pringles jingle.
We've got 3 tweets as well. Mog says, what's the story with the extra dulcet tones, Josh? You can tell us in a second. Cricket Take says, apparently the next IPL auction might happen in Istanbul. Wonder how that would be useful in wooing the cricketing sleeping giant that is Turkey.
Yeah, that's a bit weird, isn't it?
And Leah says, yes, got the first guerrilla cricket follower on Mastodon, whatever that is, Captain Mike Yates.
No, okay.
We have a change of bowling as we don't jingle up returners, do we? He has had an over which went for 11. Arshdeep is coming back. By my dulcet tones, are you referring to the kind of Barry White impression that is being forced upon me by this throat infection that I'm slowly recovering from? Arshdeep in left arm round the wicket. It's clipped off his thigh pad by Pringle down to the very fine leg boundary for 4 runs.
I don't know if it was bat or you can just play a jingle.
Oh no, it's just off thigh pad. No bat in there as far as I could see.
I couldn't see any bat in there. Nope.
Fine it went. But it's been given as 4 on the score sheet, apparently. But we think they were leg byes.
Well,
is he any relation to the former independent cricket correspondent and before that bits and pieces all-rounder?
No.
Arshdeep in left arm round the wicket, again from wide of the crease, angled in, and this time Pringle pushes it out between point and cover for a hasty single.
Dad did play for New
69
Zealand.
for 5, they're still 14 away 15 away from Messi Jez's.
Yeah, but he means Derek.
GPL picks. I do mean Derek.
Well, there is another guy called Pringle, played for New Zealand.
Yes, but I
He is
referred to the
related.
former. I referred to the
this is-
former
this is how a
independent
conversation-
cricket correspondent.
This is how
of England Bits
conversation
and Pieces
works,
all
though,
around
fellas,
there.
isn't it? Like, you
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
oh, this is a thing, and then I can take a tangent from that, and I can be like, oh, but this is an piece of information.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. It's not an interview.
No.
Nor is Knuckle here. As Edwards looks to hook, it bounces off chest or upper arm and squirts out towards where there might have been a backward short leg.
No, it pinged him on the helmet. And
Was
his-
it just helmet? My mistake.
It was
Anyway,
helmet.
They'll get a single leg by.
And his neck guard thingy came off. Yeah, straight onto
Oh,
helmet.
yeah,
Ooh,
ow, ear guard.
Yeah. Well,
No
that's what it's
shoulder,
there
no,
for,
it's all
to protect that bit.
Did his job, and they got a single.
It
Was
did
there
do
a
its
touch
job.
of glove on the way through?
Don't think so. I think he completely missed it. Too quick for him.
He'll want a new lid after that.
Yeah.
He'll be taking some time. Might even have to do a concussion check.
They probably
Although he
will.
got so quickly off the mark in order to scamper through for that single that it seems his reflexes are fine. There doesn't seem to be a formal concussion check. It's just a pat on the shoulder to check he's all right while they bring out a new lid.
Right, scores for the
On Edwards
GPL.
puts it. Scores for GPL. They start at 84.
Yep.
So 14 more needed. Jeremy predicts that the Netherlands will bowled out for 83, one
short.
below. I mean, it would be a nice hedge, wouldn't it? Put some money on that. If it doesn't come in, you've still got all your GPL chances.
Well, my 9-1 on Netherlands is well and truly dead.
Still, good value bet.
Yeah, it was.
As Arshdeep bowls over the wicket to the right-handed Pringle, who can't beat the backward point. No run.
This is really fucking tedious.
It is. It's not even the last rights of a game. It's the
They happened a long time ago.
Anti-penultimate. Well, yes and no. There's still there's a lot of afterlife. This game is undead.
This is the zombie game.
This is the zombie game for we're pretty close to Halloween.
Yeah, we are. It's creepy. This year's gone so quick. It's crazy.
70 for 5. 2 balls remaining in the 14th over. Arshdeep in to bowl penultimate ball round the wicket, this time to Pringle, who clips it off his legs out towards long leg for a single. They inch closer to that score, the only thing of importance. 84.
Oh, it was a no ball.
Needed. And it was a no ball.
Free hit.
Free hit
Woo!
comes.
Here it goes. There's a comeback trial.
And an extra run.
So what do they need? 100 and something off 6 overs. Yeah.
Only 109.
Only 109. Definite no ball. Just over the line.
On the line.
Well, it doesn't really matter if he was on the line anyway. Something
No, it
has to be
doesn't.
behind the line.
But he was.
Here we go. Hold on.
Does he have to be behind the back of the line or the front of the line?
Sorry, say that again.
I was asking if he has to be behind the back of the line or the front of the line. It's the back he has to be behind. He
Back
has
of the
to-
line, yeah. Some part of the foot
back,
has to
yeah.
be behind the back of the foot. Oh, that's out.
As this time
Oh,
a
dear.
lovely in-swinging, or rather in-angled out-swinging Yorker-length delivery from Arshdeep wraps Edwards on the pad. Lovely delivery from to a free hit. That was completely beat the batsman.
Oh, they got inside edge too.
Inside edge onto toe, out it squirts. Did they get through for a single?
Yeah,
Yes,
they did. No, I was like that when Cody got bowled on no ball in that last over the Pakistan game. I was like, he's been bowled. I was watching this Kiwi at the side of my kid's football. It's like, no, it's no ball. It's like, oh yeah. And then they ran that 3, and I couldn't remember what the rule was there.
Last ball of the over from wide of the crease. There's a big swing and a equally big miss. The end of the 14th over, the Netherlands are 73 for 5. Their notional target is 180. They ain't going to score another 107 runs in 6 overs. You did not hear it hit first. But 11 runs off something up to 6 overs, or at least before they lose 4 wickets. Seems 5 wickets, my mistake, seems rather more plausible. So we will have a minor piece of interest in this game. Will anyone take that pot? It's of course too late to add to it, but you can follow the riveting excitement here on Golden Cricket. What say our listeners?
Adindo says, I want Netherlands to score 130. Leah says, Mastodon is a decentralised open source. Elon Musk will never be able to buy it. ball.
And that was swept off Ashwin by Edwards out to deep backwards square. Just the one off it. 74 for 5. They're doing the between over changes very quickly, the Indian side.
Well, there's not much going on in the batting side of things, is there? So
Or in the game, for that matter. Ashwin again into Pringle, who goes long and high. That ought to clear the long on boundary. Clear it, it does. 6 runs.
That was a decent shot. Quite
was.
highly elevated. Ashwin won't like it. 88 metres is the distance.
Bit of footwork.
Clean
Made
hit.
it into a, not quite a half volley, but made it into a full length ball.
Just need to do a whole lot more of that.
Very cleanly over wide long on. Lovely shot that.
I bet you
Ashwin, what will he do in response?
Bowled or stumped this ball.
He steps in towards the crease. Ooh, lovely good length ball, just drifting into the right-hander. It's defended respectfully down the pitch. No run.
Got a lot of turn on that, considering. Put a lot of revs on it, the last delivery.
Indeed. Ashwin in again, floats it up. Nice bit of movement into the batsman. This time it's a bit of teamwork fielding between bowler and mid-on. No run.
Good little pass.
Good little touch.
80 for 5. 4 more needed to bring the GPL into the game. Will they do it in the next 2 balls before I go off? As Ashwin bowls one onto the stumps that straightens on Pringle. He can get it away, but can't keep it out, but can't get it away. No run there. 80 for 5. 6 followed by 3 dots. The 3rd, 4th and 5th ball of the over. The 6th is clubbed out along the ground to deep wide mid on for a single. 81 for 5. That is me done for the game. I may stick around to see if the GPL comes into play, whether anyone gets it, but ultimately I'm not sure that's all that interesting unless you've got money on it, which I don't have. So thank you all from me, and off I shall fuck.
Okie dokie.
Well, who's doing things next?
Andy.
We're up to messages, and I'm going to disappear for a bit.
Yeah, Andy's supposed to be coming back in for last 5.
I think I'm on socials.
I believe you're on socials. I'll just switch across sweet seats. Okay. Andy's here. No, he'll sit there then. What am I doing? I'm doing a ball. This game is really quite dull. And it's not one of those IPL games that you just know what's going to happen after 5 overs and you just got to sit there and do the end of it. And this time, Pringle hits it straight up in the air. Should be caught. No, he's got it over. Mid-off must have been up. He's got it over the top of Virat Kohli and there's 2 runs.
I think we call those bear games.
Bear game, yeah. This is a definite bear game. Although I think that's, like all sporting events, especially T20, it's kind of it's starting to even itself out. I think we've had quite a fair few exciting games recently.
Well, you certainly couldn't knock India-Pakistan.
No, I wasn't actually doing that one.
No, nor was I. I was watching that one at home.
Yeah.
I was so engaged in that game, I actually turned off Twitter for the last 2 overs to watch the game.
Yeah, I mean, I was just transfixed at the side of the footy ground. Across his stumps goes Pringle. He got 2 previously to that. Clips that quite nicely up to long on. Might get back for 2 for that. They do. 4 off the first 2 balls. I suppose we're only about 12 and over. More than that.
Oh, a lot more than
No,
that.
a lot more
They've
than
got
that.
5 overs to get nearly 100.
Yeah, 20 and over. I still want the law in the game that if you get, which very rarely happens, but there must be a point where you can resign from a game of cricket, like in a game of chess.
I suppose you'd lose all your run rate. You can declare your second innings when you're losing.
Not a declaration, an actual resignation, and you give it all up. Only it's me commentating, isn't it? You get backs away, Pringle, and this time uppercuts it down towards 3rd man. I get back for 2. At the point where you need over 36 and over. So
the closest you get to that is when a side declares early in the first innings because they want to protect their bowlers from further damage, as Bishop Betty once did in Australia. But you then actually get a proper resignation like you do in golf or chess.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Exactly. Full and chipped up in the air. Is it going to be caught? Yeah, it's going to be caught. Virat Kohli catches it. 87 for 6. Trying to work it to the leg side, leading edge. Finally, one of those edges carried to the right place and the right player. Virat Kohli comes in from mid-on, catches it, and he's out.
The crowd says,
kept the face of the bat open a little bit, didn't close it. Probably would have more leading edge and gone out through the covers if he had, but adjusting a little bit too late and just spooned it up.
Yep, as Shami demonstrates. Well, I'll tell you what I've got riding on this game. I had a bet on Surya Kumar Yadav to be man of the match.
Yeah.
So I don't want anyone to take 4 or 5 wickets. And that they're sharing them around at the moment. Then it's a question of whether Yadav gets it for 51 off 25 or Kohli gets it for 63 off 45 or whatever. But then there's the Kohli factor.
There's the Kohli factor, but you look at the pure stats and you have to go to Sky.
Well, man, this is that you also have to gauge when you're betting man of the match that, you know, sometimes they give crazy man of the match decisions.
Well, yeah, they do. Yeah, it's probably easier to go for top scorer or something like that.
Well, it is, but, you know, you factor it in and often, I mean, you've got better odds.
What are the odds on man of the match?
I got 11 to 1 on
11 to 1?
Yadav, and I wouldn't have got 11 to 1 on Yadav top India batsman. Would have been 5 or 6.
Yeah, true. The man of the match for Kohli probably is about 3 to 1, isn't it? Stupid like that.
It's not going to be the value shot, no.
No. We have a new man at the crease. He has a jingle.
He does.
It's Logan Van Beek. Van Beek, probably, isn't it?
That's how they say the football.
Yeah. It's full. Attempted Yorker, but it's ended up being a low full toss by Shami. It's hit to mid-off. No run. Players jingle.
Van Beek, I know what you're bowling. It's a hard cricket ball, so don't hit me 'cause it hurts. Whoa.
I think that's Mog taking the piss out of me and my Dame Pete jingle. You've done it a lot better than I did, but mine's more comical.
That's actually No Doubt, Don't Speak.
I know, but that was my Dame Pete jingle.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Oh, that was originally based on.
Yes, with me auto-tuned. Nice. What did he do with that one? Hit it out to mid-off, didn't he, for the no run?
Yep.
I'm paying so little attention to this game. Zimbabwe could be another one exactly like this, but Zimbabwe. But I guess Pakistan have the blow-up factor.
Yeah, and Zimbabwe have, I think, a bit more about them than the Netherlands.
Well,
that's the end of the over.
Yes,
so,
it is.
A couple of tweets. Mog, how many runs does Pringle have to make up for his drop catch? And India, if Arshdeep could have chosen one day to have a bad day at the office, it was today. Well done, young man. That's
fair comment.
Looking at it, I guess. Yep. And ghostwriter Elon should forbid cross-posting from Mastodon, and everybody will be back in 5 minutes. No real idea what that's.
I don't even know what Mastodon is.
Mastodon is a sort of, it's a social media thing. I know they're all a little bit different, but it's a sort of Twitter.
Extremists one?
Aren't they all?
Well, yeah, I suppose. Left alone, through to the keeper. Well, no, actually, he tried to smear it through the offside and missed it, did Edwards. He was 3 off 6, and there was no run. There wasn't.
Hombre Nuevo says, boring bear. GPL is making this edgy, but then I'm biased. 117 from the Netherlands is what I'm hoping for. 137 or 157, and now a fantasy.
Yeah, those are a fantasy. I don't think they're going to get there either. That's a good shot by Edwards, though. Managed to hit it out towards Cow. Mid-wicket comes round. Who was that? It's not Ashwin, although it kind of looked like him, but it wasn't.
So there's 3.4 overs left. If they sort of bat those through and get another 25 or so, it'd be 115, 295. We've got a 293. We've got a 297, which is Hombre Nuevo. So and then a 303 messages with all the threes.
Of course, he needs it to end it in a 4. He needs Netherlands to end in a 4, and he probably wins. That's smeared by Edwards, though. It's gone straight up in the air. Should be caught. It is caught.
Sure for a second.
Deepak Hooda, who must be on as a sub,
yep,
has come across to catch that. Nearly crashed into the other fielder. I don't know if there was any calling. It's Booby Kumar back into that. I forgot to say that. He's gone for 2 for 2 in 2.3 overs.
Don't take any more.
Yeah. Oh, right. Well, yeah. Another one bites the dust. I think that is going to be out, Fred. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, the problem in a game like this is it's such a mauling that it could be anyone, really, because there's probably quite a few players with reasonably good performances.
Yeah, I think if they give it to a bowler, I don't really mind. If they give it to a batter other than Surya Kumar, I think I'll be a bit aggrieved.
Yeah, I would be. I think Surya Kumar's is a better display than Virat Kohli. He's come in and they needed impetus at the time, and he provided that, to be fair.
Well, I was travelling. Actually, I was on my way here, so I didn't see.
Well, they were bobbling along. Rohit couldn't really hit it off the square. Virat wasn't really hitting it too hard anywhere as well. And then Sky came in after Rohit was out and basically just went 4s and 6s to get to about 20-24 to start with. No balls at all. So and then really provided the impetus to kick the innings on. So I think it would be fair to go to him. Cut. That's a nice shot by Shariz.
Yes.
As it goes out over point and down to the backward point boundary for 4 runs.
Okay, we'll give him his jingle first.
Oh, Shahrazad, I know you can get me through the night.
And he's come straight in with one of these.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Quite a slight fellow. Nice wrist on that last shot. Broke them very late. And the next shot is a lovely shot. Driven out beautifully through the covers. All on the deck. There is a fielder out there. They'll get 2 runs there.
Kohli out on the boundary. Don't often see that, do we?
Yeah, I know. Well, you do. You see him down at long on quite a lot, don't you? Long on, long off. When players are playing it straight. He's one of the better fielders in the deep. I guess you put your best fielder where you think the ball's going to go.
I guess, but yeah.
Bhuvi Kumar's around the wicket to Shariz, who just drops it on the offside. I'll go through for a single. Netherlands are 96 for 7 off 17. 3 overs to go.
And we've got some more tweets. Warren, morning all. Which was more of a bear game, South Africa versus Bangladesh or this one?
Well, I didn't see the Bangladesh game, but they got beaten by 100. And these guys are going to get beaten by 80. So I guess you have to say Bangladesh. I mean, Bangladesh are a better team. They want to put up a better game against Sri Lanka. South Africa.
They're not
wouldn't
much of a better team.
What, the Netherlands? Well,
No.
maybe you're right. I don't know.
I'll carry on. Mog, fuck off. I'd never used a No Doubt song for a jingle. There must have been another song, Andy. Grace has posted a GIF from The Simpsons of the Scottish Gardener guy. Do have a look on our Twitter feed if you'd like to see what it reveals. Mark, are you doing many more Dutch games? Because maybe reconsider.
Yeah.
And cricket takes. How long till we get a declaration in an ICC white ball tournament to progress to the knockouts? I'll tell you what, you could imagine a scenario where weather was closing in, a team needed to win or something along those lines, and they thought maybe their best chance was a declaration.
Yeah. Well, as you say, it would have to be a resignation, you'd think. And therefore any bonus points and net run rate, I don't know, maybe you have a penalty for that if you do it. Driven up with no great timing by Shariz to mid-on, and there was no run.
Happens
but say a team thought that they needed to get the other side in to get the requisite number of overs for the second team to bat in order for them to win the match. On Duckworth Lewis, they knew rain clouds were 5 miles away or something along those lines. If they were piling up a huge score against, say, a minnow, you could imagine they might declare in that situation.
That's pulled out to deep square leg, and there's a no run. A single, maybe even 2. I don't know. I'm trying to think about your question.
No, I do see what you're saying. Yeah, it's possible. There may be a rule that you can't do that. You just have to send 7 batsmen out to kick their stumps over.
Yeah,
but all of these things
14 minutes
in cricket, all of these things in cricket we think will never happen until you get a situation like the 2019 World Cup, and there it is, it's happened. And it's a boundary count back. No one thought it would ever happen.
Yes, that was quite crazy. I remember in the comms box, everyone going, what the fuck's going to happen if it's a draw? That one is onto the boot of Shariz. He might well have been run out. He fell over. And DK picked up the ball, threw it down at the bowler's end. If it hit the stumps, I think Shariz, having got up and started running, was short, but he didn't. And therefore, there was a DRS time. Oh, right, because it hit him on the...
Well,
it hit him outside leg stump, didn't it?
It happens every now and then in club cricket when the league's rules haven't really been thought through.
Yes.
Someone has the cunning plan of declaring it 0 for 0
Yes.
because that makes
That
them
happened
win.
a couple of years ago, that Welsh team, didn't they?
Yes.
They got fucking hammered.
Yes, they got into terrible trouble.
They got
for it,
probably
didn't they?
possibly hammered too hard for that, if I remember correctly, when the league should have fixed their rules.
Well,
but it did happen in a county tournament, like in the 80s, didn't it?
Yes, I don't know, one of those teams went out, they faced one over, didn't they, and then declared or something.
Yeah.
Because it meant that they would win the league. even if they lost all their points. That's defended. There's another decent ball by Archdeep right in the block hole. Well played by Van Beek. It's down to a third man for 2. Go for it.
There's a tremendous match, if you can ever find it on YouTube, a World Cup qualifier between something like Barbados and Trinidad from nearly 20 years ago, where it ends up with both sides trying to score at both ends.
In football, because of some weird rule that if it went into extra time, it counted as a 2-0 or something.
There had to be a 2-goal margin. It was wonderful to watch both sides trying to score at both ends.
Excellent. Rules, laws they're never perfect. There might always be some sort of loophole. A flap by Van Beek from a short ball from Archdeep. Did he get it? Oh yeah, he did get top edge through the keeper. There's no run. 101 for 8. Messi needs 3 more runs. There's 2 wickets. Patrick here would really scuff him.
Oh, stupid umpires. They make the 1 for the over signal look so much like out.
Yes. Oh, really? Was it 1 for the over? I thought it was out.
It was. No, it's out.
Is it out?
Yeah.
Well, it said wicket on the screen. So
it said wicket on the screen, yeah.
Oh, it is out. I thought it's just the fact that no one cares. All right, I'll definitely give it this then.
There was nothing I could change. I was gonna.
Well, it looks like Leah's put us right. There are no declarations in white ball cricket. So I assume that is
I'm not too surprised by that. You will have to send your batsmen all out to kick the stumps down. Right, GPL. If Holland lose 2 more wickets without scoring, then Dwells is going to win the GPL on 281. That's where we are at the moment. Messijez is next on 283. And then we have Dwells and Messijez on 293.
Ah, yes, 102. They get 102. That's what they're on at the moment, isn't it? 102.
No, they're 101, I think.
Oh, 101.
Oh, no, hang on. It's like 180 to win. So it's 179 plus 101. So that's actually on 280 at the moment, which is also Dwells.
Yes, I've just got scores that Netherlands get. They 101 or 102, 104 and 114 are likely. So I want a 4 and then 2 wickets because I want the house to win, obviously.
Yep, house always wins.
House always wins.
Unfortunately,
it doesn't always win. But it's a good pot to win. The annoying thing, it takes so long to get up to these big pots because not enough people enter.
Well, if it's not one or even if it is one in this innings, get your guesses in for Pakistan versus Zimbabwe.
Which I'll open up.
Coming up soon.
Finishes.
Right, anyway, we've got a new batsman.
Absolutely. We've actually got the end of the over then.
Lords of cricket, that I, your humble servant, Fred Clarkson, gain protection from those who can clear the boundary.
Original decision, non-out.
So we've got a review.
Oh Christ! I must have missed a ball.
We must have missed a ball. That's going down leg anyway.
Yeah, we've got a review for LBW.
Yeah, it's hit him on the toe.
I think it's going down leg though, actually.
Yeah, it does look like it's going down leg. It's hit him in line with maybe leg. Was it the decision not out? I think it might be clipping leg stump, but I think that's the best you'd hope for. There's no bat on it. It's definitely hit his boot before it's hit the bat, and the bat's not near it even when after it hit the boot. I mean, you can see a lot of air there, umpire. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate. You can
so this in the summer, in the 100, the tournament that dare not speak his name, they were getting DRLSs done very quickly, seemingly with no additional error.
Let's have a look. It's hit him in line, and it's hit him.
No, he's out.
He's out.
Oh, all right.
Is it?
Oh, okay. He's out. Well, D. Wells, he's on a hat-trick as well.
Bowler's on a hat-trick. Are you saying apparently D. Wells is a she. So she's on a hat-trick.
D. Wells, I believe you were the winner in the World Cup, weren't you? Of nearest the pin, and got the all the goodie bag.
Anyway, Clarkson only troubled us for 1 ball, and he is gone. We didn't even see the ball, did we?
No, we didn't see the ball. They were still showing us Rohit. I'm still convinced that they're. Either that or they photoshopped them so badly, but they look like they're computer generated. Rohit does anyway in those adverts that come up.
Oh, the adverts probably, yeah. They're getting into conspiracy theories of them computer generating the whole game.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's weird.
Arshdeep is on his knees with both hands up in the air while holding a drink, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, he's gone to get a drink.
I don't know what you think about those. BW's DRSs when the ball is so close to being a half volley? What the predictive quality?
Yeah, I think that's the one
It
place where
look to the naked
that's
eye
the
as
one
if
place where
going
it
down
can't.
leg side.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one place where it falls over. Next ball is Shami bowling to Cherise, who it's a slower ball into deck, goes past the outside edge, through the keeper, there's no run.
This man may not even get a strike, but we'll give him a jingle anyway. It's the end of the over, so he's not on strike.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly looked like it was going down leg. I think.
I'm not sure about that one.
Yeah, I think the problem it has is it diverts off the boot, and the DRS treats that as the
contact point.
No, it deems that the actual movement is from the seam or something, rather than where the ball was going. Clip down to long on for a single, 102.
Right, so D Wells is now in play if this is a wicket.
D Wells is definitely in play.
If it's a wicket, D Wells will win. If Holland are dismissed for 102, which is what they're on now.
Yep. If they get 2 more runs and there's a wicket, then Messi Jez will get back his money.
And get back his considerable investment.
And Shami is going to bowl to Van Meekeren. It's smashed into the offside. Is it going to be out? Is it going to be out? No, it's dropped short of the fielder in the deep. It's 103. No one wins. Come on, Shami. Bowl him. Cherise is facing.
Also, only 9 balls left in this innings.
Yeah.
So, if it's the next one, so it's either 1 more run or 11 more runs.
Yeah, 114, 118 could be in play. There's a couple of smears. Cherise is facing up 9 off 7. Shami bowls a really slow ball. He's absolutely nowhere near it. Flapping about outside his off stump. Cherise through to the keeper, and there is no run. And the other good thing about fair games like this, where Netherlands have been hopeless, is actually go quite quickly. This game is only, and it started late, and it's only been going for 3 hours.
Yep, they rattle it through, and why not? Which just goes to show that wickets don't always slow the over rate down very much necessarily.
It's the bashing it into the stands that slows it down.
A bit more, yeah.
Some glum looking Dutch faces. Oh, smeared into the offside. Is it going to be out? No, it's going to be 4.
It's going to be 4.
Well, that takes a few people out for a little while. Netherlands move on to 107 for 9. Nice shot. It was very full from Shami outside the off stump. He opened the face, got underneath it and clipped it over the infield and behind square. Good wrist to get it out there. 1 bounce 4. He looks slightly better having looked at some of these Dutch players or Netherlands players than number 10 to Cherise, but he smears that one out again. Good shot in front of point this time. Well, cover. There's Virat Kohli out there. He throws it back in, and there'll be 2 more runs. The score moves on to 109.
Right,
and that's the end of the over. 1 more over to go.
Yep, the next GPL score is 114 for Holland. Netherlands, I should say.
I'll get through a few tweets. Leah says, "Oh, look what the trend's dragged in. A dipshit crypto bro." Moggs says, "We don't use the term minnow anymore, Fourthy. It's considered quite offensive." One must indeed move with the times, Mog. Thank you for the correction.
Lesser sides.
Leah, also, what's the broadcast schedule for the next few days? Well,
I'll be putting that up later today.
You can basically assume we're doing everything that's not 5 a.m. start.
Except for Sunday, we're only doing 1 game because we're really short staffed because I've got to go to football. Tony's away and Hendo's umming and ahhing about getting up too early in the morning. So we're doing the 11 o'clock game on Sunday, 11 o'clock morning in England, which is the India game. It's the last game of 3 on Sunday.
Just to confuse everything further, is it clocks changing this weekend?
Oh, are they?
That's probably why it's 11 rather than 12.
Yes,
that's right, because the next
and very quickly, it's Saimar says the football match where one team could score at either end was Barbados Grenada, which Wikipedia explains very well.
Oh, good. All right, Arshdeep is going to come in. He's on a hat trick. He's got 2 for 23. Van Meekeren is facing up.
No, don't take a hat trick. He might sneak man of the match.
Yeah, he might do actually. Arshdeep. He's around the wicket though. That's probably not the best angle for the hat trick. And consequently, he bowls it into the pads. It squirts out on the leg side, and is no run. Maiden for the last over.
I think Messi Jez probably has posted up the remaining matches for intending to cover.
Yeah, I know, but I've got to put them all into the back end, and I kind of do them in little batches when I get rotors through.
Okay.
I'm not very attentive, I have to say.
It all gets done.
It's well, I just get thrown so much information. I never look at it. I just assume I'm in. That's pulled or attempted to be pulled by Van Meekeren. He gets a glove maybe onto his stomach, which just squirts out on the leg side, and then get through for either a single or a leg bye. One or the other. We'll see in a minute. It's a 1, so he got some gloves onto his belly. And,
Well,
on the leg side.
after this game, this can happen in this format. Netherlands have got 3 more games. They've not got much to play for. You do get prize money for winning a game.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, some of these lesser sides in T20, I do think some of these lesser sides have got a chance. I mean, look, we've lost to Ireland a fair few times, but we wouldn't have expected to lose to Ireland yesterday. They're always the banana skin for the bigger sides. Full, nice drive by Charisse, gets it out on the offside. They'll get 1. They're going to come back for 2. They don't bother, or did they? No.
As you say, it's at least the 3rd time England have lost to Ireland in World Cups. But Sky Sports is still calling it historic when it happens.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's a different format this time.
We've lost.
Well, I guess it is. It's historic in the sense it's the first time that Ireland played at the MCG, and obviously the first time they won at the MCG.
If you want to
so
be
that's
granular like that,
historic.
every game is historic. You can always find out why something's unique. But yeah, I mean,
I don't know. First time Ireland playing at the home, Melbourne Cricket Ground. That's somewhat historic.
Yeah, but if you look at the other side, and England have never won a game at the NCG in T20 internationals, then maybe there wasn't anything historic about it. Smashed through the offside. It's going to go for 4 runs.
You're saying, in fact, an England
good
win
shot.
would have been historic.
Yeah, precisely. In that sense, 115 for 9.
Okay, so 2 more runs.
No, 3 more runs. 118 is the next man, because it's just gone up to 115. So it's just gone past D Wells and Messi Jez on 114. 2 balls left. 2 singles gets 117? Wouldn't be a winner.
Yeah.
A 2 and a 1. Boundary and a boundary will get
3
someone.
will win it for Hombre Nuevo.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's pulled. It's gone up in the air. It's going to go fine though. It's going to get 4 more.
Yeah.
Oh dear. The score moves on to what? 119. Oh, that takes out Hombre Nuevo and basically leads a 6 off the last ball.
6 off the last ball.
6 won't do it either.
5 off the last ball.
5 off the last ball.
That's a pretty slim chance.
That's a very slim chance. Yeehaw! The house wins. What again? And there's a crowded field. Someone's going to get it eventually.
Could be a no ball and a 4.
5 wides.
Yeah, but 5 wides, you get another ball, don't you?
Oh yeah,
but then I suppose you might not score off that final ball, and it remains on the 5. Just bowl it straight, Arshdeep, for fuck's sake.
A wide and then a 4.
Yeah, wide and then a 4. Oh, Arshdeep's coming in. Last ball. He's around the wicket. He's at the stumps. It's not a wide. It's going to be a single down a long off. Or is it going to go for a boundary? Is anyone down there? There isn't anyone down there. So they end on 123. Oh, just 1 short of Messi Jez. What a shame. Messi's screaming and bashing his computer screen as he said. You can come on if you're in the back there to howl in public, if you so wish, Messi. You get another chance in about 3/4 of an hour.
They finished the innings with 3 4s.
Yeah.
To make it not look so bad. So well done for that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Nudges their run rate up.
56 runs doesn't sound that bad in the end.
No,
they were
it doesn't.
They were never in it.
No, they were never in it. They had to go off. I mean, this is the thing about these sides. If they, there are some batsmen who can go off at a pace. I mean, I think most of their chances are probably batting first and then somehow trying to restrict sides, because I think when they're under pressure they really struggle. But if you let them go first and they just go from the off, if they have a good day, they can get a competitive score and they're kind of in the game.
Well, in the Netherlands they don't have a Paul Sterling or a Sikander Raza or someone like that who can have a really good day. I mean, look at the game where Ireland beat the West Indies. That was largely on the back of Sterling just really breaking the back of that chase.
Yes.
In the power play.
And the game.
I have tweeted. I have tweeted all that I need to say.
Look, they're fixing it. We've got a line into the teams, So we tell them what score they can and can't get.
Get your bets in for the next game.
Yes,
because that jackpot is
getting
bigger and bigger, and help us out with the rest of the tweets. Yeah.
Yeah, get on, Forthy. Go for it.
I'll just finish off the tweets we've got here. Delightful domestic scene from Brian 001. Cricket interrupted here with granddaughters arriving for scone making lessons, or scone making lessons if you prefer. Mog, I guess I don't give you enough money so I could piss some more away on the GPL. Leah says, excellent, thank you very much. You're very welcome to Linux, Leah. Armchair cricket. So the Netherlands start scoring once 9 down, twice in 2 games.
Right.
Maybe you should move your 10 and 11 up the order a bit.
Order.
Yeah. Any more?
Right. Hombre Nuevo, long live the GC house. Messi Jez, one fucking run again. And Armchair Cricket says, oh dear, it's all a shambles now, and that's about it.
I'll tell you what you need to do, Jez. Change it to end in 2, and then it's going to come through.
Absolutely, that's good advice there from Andy. That's the end of the day, the end of this game. It's not the end of the day. We're going to turn off the broadcast and start again.
I'll see you in about an hour.
Yes, we're on again in half.
Yeah.
Well, 25 minutes we're back on, but I'll see you.
That could only end in disaster.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So until then, we'll say goodbye.
Bye for now. Catch you up again soon.
Do you want to put the theme tune on?
Guerrilla crickets. Guerrilla crickets.
Oh, you want to do something?
Take guard, man the barricades, patrol the cover boundary. At last the time has come, this is a cricketing emergency. Hear this call to arms for every cricket revolutionary. Take up your bats and stumps for the test match insurgency. At first they tried to silence us, but we would not be silenced. They threatened us with lies, so we threatened them with violence. Che Guevara, Sangakkara, Joseph Stalin, Douglas Jardine, Robespierre, Darrell Hare, Vladimir Lenin, O'Brien Kevin, guerrilla cricket. It's not about the winning, it's about how many rules you break. Even in cricket commentary, this is the best advice to take. Pick guerrilla cricket, it's the finest choice you'll ever make. There's so much more to cricket than rev counters and a slice of cake. At first they tried to sanitize us and clean up our act. But people like it filthy, and we know that for a fact. Fidel Castro, Lenny Pascoe, Carlos the Jackal, Umar Akmal, Mahatma Gandhi, Grant and Andy, Brendan Behan, Austin Ian, guerrilla cricket. Stick with us, cause you know we're not the kind of thing that you see on the TV and the radio. So vive la revolution. First they tried to buy us, but we would not be bought. Okay, we were, but then we ran away, and we will not be caught. We would not give